Simple. Improve the quality of life in our communities. We've expanded to several non-member areas to help new communities. If you live in areas near Altus, Branch, Coxville, Mountainburg, Murray, Spur, or Ozark, Wave Rural Connect may be available to you right now. Check availability online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Wave Rural Connect will continue opening new areas throughout 2025.
Do you need closure on your garage? Call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. With an unheard of 15-year spring warranty option, Grit is the team you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR.
COP CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Seconds making a play. Short's got it covered.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle. Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage.
It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself.
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Call Wade Gilkey or Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. There's a slight chance of seeing a shower. Thunderstorm high temperatures into the low 90s. Mainly clear, low 70s tonight, and then Thursday, sunshine, low 90s. Friday, we're back to sunny skies and a high in the low to mid 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
We want to win the West. We want to win the Natty. We want to win all of it. And we're at Arkansas. We should have that opportunity to do that.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. Good morning and hello at 1 minute after 12 o'clock, or 1 minute after 11 o'clock. I guess it'd be 12 o'clock if you're in the Eastern time zone, but hey, that's a Monday for you already. I've already made my first mistake here on halftime. It's good to be with everybody live. Phil Elson, Matt Jones on the road somewhere, and Christian Johnston in the studios producing. Got you for the next 3 hours, and it's good to be with everybody. Hope you had a great weekend. Matt, I had my eye on a little bit of soccer last night. The Gold Cup. U.S. pulling off the shootout win. I don't know what would have happened if they would have lost. I know it wouldn't have been a good thing. It's just a qualifying thing for next year's World Cup. So, yeah, I got my soccer fix in for the week. How about you?
You know, I got to see a little bit of that as well. Happy to be here with you today. Yeah, that's one of my favorite segments we have coming up in the next hour, 3 Up, 3 Down. I got a couple ups from that game. So, yeah, pretty excited. Anytime the U.S. men's national team can win, even though it's Costa Rica, penalty shootout, whatever, we're on to the next stage, to the Final Four. We'll take on Guatemala on Wednesday.
Yeah, 3 saves. 3 saves in the final in the final shootout. So it was entertaining. It was exciting. Again, I don't know what would have happened if they'd have lost, if there would have been a problem qualifying. But you're the host of the World Cup, so you get to play in it. No,
they're
what.
in. Host gets in. That's right.
That's right. So, all right. So I watched my soccer for I don't know, the week, the month, yesterday, and. It's good to, Matt, our roles are a little bit reversed today, or at least the things, how we usually do the show. I'm usually the one that's out on the road somewhere, and you're usually one that's in the studio. We got things reversed. I'm in the home studio, and you're out in the great frontier out there somewhere. So hope the drive has been safe. You are where you are, so it must have been safe up to this point. You enjoying the open road?
Man, it was a beautiful, beautiful drive. Stayed in Le Mans yesterday evening. Got up this morning early, check-in. We're in Aurora, right outside of Denver, and you know who comes to town tomorrow though? It's the Houston Astros to take on the big bad Colorado Rockies for a 3-game series, and I might go to the game tomorrow. No, I know I'm going to the game on Thursday. It's an afternoon game, but they have two night games, Tuesday and Wednesday. So might sneak off and go to 2 games while I'm in town.
So when's the show at Red Rocks? The Gin Blossoms Blues
July 4th. Yeah, happy 4th, happy birthday, America.
And we are obviously off for July 4th, which is good stuff. So, man, a week on the road, living the life. I'm a little bit envious. I'm on the road later today to get my daughter for where she's got to fly for her European trip with a bunch of her friends. It's a youth trip. So headed to Memphis because it's a lot easier to get to Kennedy Airport from Memphis than it is to get there from the Little Rock Airport. So I'll be going in the opposite direction from you. The only difference is I'm returning home once I drop her off. You won't be back home for it's going to be another 5 days or so. So
I get a little itchy, a little unnervy when I'm not in my own bed for multiple nights. So yes, this will be 4, 5, 6 nights, whatever this is. This would be the longest I think since we've been working together, Phil. That I've been not. So I get a little anxious sometimes.
I guess I should do the math on this to see if I've spent more time or more nights sleeping in my bed or various hotel beds, whether it's in Fayetteville or all across the SEC. I don't know if I'd be happy when I look at the numbers, Matt, because I spent a pretty penny on my mattress a year ago to try to make sure I didn't get any more back injuries. And it turns out I don't have any control over the kind of mattresses that the Hiltons and the Marriotts and the Holiday Inns of the SEC purchase. So, yeah. And, I don't have a problem fitting into a bed. Somebody at 6'6", that could be a bit of an issue sometimes when you're on the road and traveling. So, glad it's going well.
I forgot my pillow, but I have my my rolly thing for my stretches. So I can be able to stretch. I've learned from you whenever you're in a car for 4, 5, 6 hours that you got to stretch. You got to keep it loose.
I get out every hour, pretty much, is what I've learned I have to do. Chris in Fayetteville already has a place for you to check out in Denver. He says there's a bar called Society in Denver, and it's a Razorback bar with great chicken wings. So
nice.
Yeah, why not? You might as well, right? You're not in Denver too often. Go explore and see if you can find Society.
Well, there might be Denver. That's a very proud soccer land here, and when they play Guatemala, I'll say that right eventually. July 2nd, might try to find a little pub to sneak into and chant USA a couple times.
I bet you if you walk into Society and ask if they can change one of the televisions to that match, they'll do it for you. Especially when you probably point to a football jersey on the wall, although that's not what you do normally, but, could point to hey, that's me. Could I get the soccer game pretty, please? Also, Arkansas Dave wants to make sure that now she's only going to Europe with about 120 other teenagers that have all sorts of chaperones. So, yeah, she's surrounded by friends at all times. Arkansas Dave, I'm very thankful for your concern about this situation. All right, I got to get into something that's a little bit more serious here. We brought it up last week. It was obviously not a very easy week for Razorback athletics in terms of, if you're just doing the math, they probably let go of 18 people from the athletic department last week. We did not know who those people were, and I still don't know who most of them are, with the exception of potentially one of them. And he may be a person that has such, you think about the connections going back years and years for Kevin Trainor. I was reading in Wally Hall's column today, and I was unaware about this until I looked at his column. I was texting with Mike Irwin about it earlier, and we'll have Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation in about 23 minutes from now, and this will be a topic. Apparently, Kevin Trainor was one of the people that was let go by the athletic department last week. This is an Arkansas alum. This is somebody that's I think Kevin's been working for the athletics department.
He was there when I was there.
Yeah, I was going to say, take a gander, Matt, because you were an athlete too when he was still working there.
I think he just started maybe the year before I got there or so. So that would have been 2001. So he's been there almost 3 decades.
Kevin has been the vice chancellor and director, vice chancellor for communications for a long, long time now. Chief public relations officer, essentially, comes out of the media relations department, where for years and years he was the number one contact for numerous sports. Obviously, he's worked with baseball for a long, long time, and you'd have to look at a short list, and I would think Kevin would be near the top or at the top of the short list of the most respected communicators in the industry. Talking about the industry of communicators that work for the athletic departments. The organization that used to be called COSITA is now called College Sports Communicators. Kevin is the president of the College Sports Communicators and is on the boards of numerous organizations, not just all around the state, but around the country, that deal with college sports and the communicators that help tell the stories and really help provide information and provide access for people like us and journalists. And he's also, he's been married to Ruth for a long, long time. Ruth, of course, is Frank's daughter, Frank Broyles' daughter. So if you're thinking about somebody that's from the state, his brother played football and baseball for Arkansas. I remember he was a kicker. Has personal relationships with all the legends that are stretching back into the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. Those who are still alive as well, and those who passed. I think Kevin had very strong relationships with them. And aside from all of that, he's just really good at what it is that he does. And this is not a I don't know how to put this. I don't know what it is like to be the person that is running a large organization. All I do is I do this show for 3 hours a day, Monday through Friday, get prepared for it, work with Matt and Christian on the things that we're going to talk about, and then worry about the baseball, football, and basketball games. It's pretty easy for me to put together how to handle those sorts of things. When it comes to running an athletics department, I don't know what that's like, the pressures of it, especially now where you got a specific dollar figure that you're shooting for that you have to cut from your budget. You don't have a choice about it because of the new world that is coming to us tomorrow when July 1st hits and the House settlement actually now becomes the lay of the land. And you're looking to cut $2.5 million and you're cutting 10% of your staff from all over the athletics department. You're going to end up cutting people who I thought the value was about $118,000 on average of the people that may have lost their jobs. of which obviously it seems Kevin is now one of them. I hate it for the university. I hate it for Kevin at the top of the list more than anything else. I mean, reading in Wally's column, maybe he's being offered a job in the Razorback Foundation or somewhere else in the university. But Kevin is a Razorback. He is a sports guy. He is a sports communicator, and that's just not the kind of thing that, at this point of your life, he's smart enough and intelligent enough and talented enough to find another thing, whether it's within communications somewhere else in the university or the industry, to still be successful at what he does. Kevin will be good at whatever it is he chooses to do. But this job is the thing that he's best at, and may be the best in the country at it. You mean, think about college sports communicators, every single university in the country that has an athletic department have people that are part of that organization. And Kevin is at the top of it and has been near the top of it for years. The amount of respect that I think he has engendered throughout the country, not just the state. Within the state, people know him a lot more. It can't be a good thing for feeling like there are people who know you, who know you because they're from the places that you're from and have been doing all these things that we talk about with the Razorbacks, going to games, listening to games, watching games, growing up around it. That's his life. That's what it's been. And I mean, look, there's other people in the athletic department that have, grown up around the Razorbacks and are from the state, but there's fewer of them now, I think, than have been for a long time. And I'm somebody that's not from the state, but I've been doing this 25 years in this state, so I don't know. I feel like I might count by now. It's just, Matt, it just feels to me like I don't want to make value judgments about, well, you should have kept Kevin over this person or that person, because I don't know who else was let go. All I know is you're really losing a connection to fans, to media members, and I think to the program's history, the athletic department's history overall. And I hope that doesn't, I hope it doesn't play itself out in ways where just feels like it's less personal now than ever before. And I know that's how fans feel. But now when you actually have a face and a name that I think most of these fans, if not all of them, know and have relationships with, to me, that's so indicative of what it is we're facing right now. And I have my own personal relationship and friendship with Kevin. That's why I know he's going to be okay, because he's so good at what he does. He'll be good at anything that he does, but this is what he should be doing. He should still be, leading the PR department essentially for Arkansas, but he's not going to. And I don't know if I just don't know what that's going to do for the industry, Matt. I just know that I hate it.
Yeah, he's been there so long. He kind of knows where all the bodies are buried, so to speak. Reliable, consistent. I got to reconnect a little bit with him those last couple of years, going up and eating dinner with Dino and just kind of connecting with a lot of other people too that I haven't seen in years. But Kevin, he's always treated me right, always been good, and I would agree with you that you keep him around in some capacity. You keep him around the program if you can.
Yeah, it would seem that that's something you'd want to do. But again, and I'm not saying this as a criticism of Hunter Yurachek or anybody that made these decisions, because I don't know what it's like to have to make those incredibly hard decisions. That also you're the one that's telling this person that you've worked with for the last 8 years closely that we're not going to need your services anymore. I mean, that's not easy for him. This isn't a pity party for Hunter Yurachek, but because he's fired plenty of people. You got to do that as an athletics director. But it's, I hate it. I hate everything about it. And I would have hated it no matter what, because Kevin is somebody that just stretches back for so many years. I mean, his influence, I think, with the athletics department stretches to way back before he was even alive, just the people that he knows from the 60s, the 50s, the 70s. And that's got to stand for something. It should stand for something. And it probably does. But in this day and age now where you got to make cold, hard decisions and let go 10% of those are 18 people. Think of how many other people that affects. Husbands, wives, family members, kids. It's not just those 18 people that are affected. And it's this welcome to college sports 2025, 2026 in the future, I guess is the right way to put it. We'll open up the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Here's what's halftime today. That hotline is 877-377-6963. Mike Irwin in about 13 minutes. Connor O'Gara, Saturday Down South, 1:15. Otherwise, lots of time for your calls and texts. We are right back with more halftime in a moment.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
The difference between an average morning and a Hardee's morning is hearty goodness that lasts till lunchtime. Like Hardee's smoked sausage biscuit. Split Hillshire Farm smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. And our Frisco breakfast sandwich with cherrywood smoked bacon or ham on toasted sourdough. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Summer is here, and Gelco Outdoors has the outdoor gear for you. Hiking boots by Salomon, running shoes by Under Armour, fishing shoes by Extra Tough and Under Armour, dry fit fishing and outdoor clothing by APCO, Ariat, Drake, Hook, and Under Armour. Take advantage of the hot summer deals on summer clothing with buy one, get the second at 50% off. See store for details. For all your summer fishing, Gelco has the gear. Hunters, get ready for bow season. Gelco Outdoors, your one-stop summer store. 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
See dealer for details. At Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway, Van Buren, there's never been a better time to buy. Stop in today and check out our huge discounts on new Chevrolets and pre-owns. No reasonable offer will be refused, and at Rhodes, we always give you more for your trade. Plus, we offer free pickup and delivery. You can even buy remotely. Stop in and let us show you the Rhodes way with our 2-year complimentary maintenance program on every vehicle sold. Experience the Rhodes way. Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway, where you get the best prices, period.
Do you need closure on your garage? Call Grit Garage Doors. Whether it's a new door, a squeaky closing sound, a broken spring, or just off track, Grit is who you can trust. With an unheard of 15-year spring warranty option, Grit is the team you can trust. Call Grit. There's no door Grit can't close. Local team, local service with honesty and integrity. Call Grit Garage Doors. 479-430-3667. That's 479-430-DOOR.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
Summer is finally here, and so are the road trips that you've had planned. That's why it's time to visit us at Southern Tire Mart. Southern Tire Mart's expert service, competitive pricing, and top quality tires will ensure your vehicle is ready for all your summer adventures. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is prepared for the summer. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. Southern Tire Mart. We keep America rolling.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
think I got a little situation. So listen to me, sister, listen, maybe you can help. I think I give a lot of fathers my consideration, but not for me. I'm a sinner fit for someone else. People always seem to just be application. Why do I get from there? I'm not getting anything. It's getting only information. And I'm a single time, music feeling TV.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
877-377-6963. Calls and texts on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Got folks texting in about Kevin Trainor, and I brought it up last segment. Chris hates it for Kevin and the others. Has an understanding why it's happened. Nathan thinks if Yurachek had any sense of duty about his role in making department-wide sacrifices, he'd take a pay cut himself, if just for nothing than symbolism. Says surprised he has not. Yeah, and Seth and Rogers says, Razorback Sports used to be like a mom-and-pop hardware store. Now it's feeling much more like a corporate Home Depot. Big money does that, and it stinks. Yeah, and I think it's just like Chris says, you have an understanding, but on the other hand, I can also look at it from the other perspective of I don't understand why the person with maybe the deepest connection of anybody else on staff to the legends, to the history of Razorback athletics would be the one that's let go. But something tells me that it had much more to do about a dollar figure than anything else. If you're looking to make a specific dollar figure, and that figure is $2.5 million, well, that's the thing you're looking to do. So that probably also means you're looking to some of your more senior staff members, and if you're doing 10% cut all across the department, well, that probably means 10% of your senior staff members too, of which obviously Kevin was one of them. So I'm sure there'll be a few more details about this coming out. And this is the first name of again, my guess was 18 people let go by Razorback Athletics last week. If they were just trying to hit 10%, you had 181 people on staff, 10%'s 18, and they're looking to make $2.5 million of cuts. So you're saving about a little less than $139,000 per termination. Hope your firings go okay today. Was that the line I remember from Office Space, Matt?
So you're going to give me more money and you're going to fire Amir?
I wouldn't want to be in on that conversation at all. Not at all.
Well, yeah, because he's competent. He knows what that's the thing. If you're talking about, where would he be at on the totem pole as far as being able to do his job, do the job that he does well? There's not 10 people I don't think that understand the program or could do his job as well as he does his job. So that's kind of the tricky thing. Is it like, each year you play in the NFL, each year you play in the NBA, Major League Baseball, you automatically get a raise. And so if we go and if you played 11 years and we go sign a rookie, we're saving, 70% of our money. So is it something like that where they get somebody else to come in or do it by committee? Because you would have to think that there's not 10 people that could do his job as good as he does his job.
There's just so much of it is not. Look, it's not the writing of the press releases. It's the relationships. It's the conversations behind the scenes. And think of some of the folks that are inside the sports information office that do good work. Kyle Parkinson and Oliver Gregg are two that I work with on a very close basis. Fuller Birch, I worked with women's basketball last year, and Fuller's, still new in the industry and doing a really good job. But this isn't the kind of thing I believe that hurts the individual sports. This is an athletic department wide position. I mean, you're the one that's handling the communications for the main office part of it, not the football aspect of it, not the baseball aspect of it, or the basketball aspect. It's kind of detailing why some of these changes may be made. So it's like, well, who's telling the story of why this change is made in that case? You probably don't get that kind of answer at all. Like literally, you'll never hear why. It just comes down to money, nothing else. Because if it came down to other things other than money, I don't think Kevin would have been the person that's let go here. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts. It seems you knew that something like this comes down the pike eventually. Everybody in the athletic department would have known somebody that's a senior staff member is going to lose his or her job. It's like it's the feeling of, well, the economy's tanking and the giant corporation I work for is probably going to have to lay off 4,000 or 5,000 people. I don't know if I'm going to be one of those people or not. I think a lot of our listeners have lived through that before. Even in recent years, you've lived through that before. This is a small organization. 181 people is really not that large of an organization. To cut 18 of them, that's a heck of a lot of people, and it's a lot of probably, I think the word that you're looking at here, Matt, is expertise. Think of, and again, I didn't mean this with any insult towards any other writers or journalists or media members that cover the athletics department. It's just that they're, over the last 7 months after Bob Holt's passing and Tom Murphy was fighting cancer, there just weren't as many good questions asked inside the press conferences as there used to be. Look, those guys are just really good at what it is that they did. There probably were some things that didn't get fleshed out through the press conferences just because of that. And you don't get that expertise back. You got Tom back, but you don't get Bob back. And you just can't replace somebody like that in that room. I think the same thing about Kevin Trainor. You can't replace him. You can put somebody else in the position, or like you said, maybe handle it on a team basis, but it just isn't going to be the same. So, the thing you can keep doing is like look at the staff page on ArkansasRazorbacks.com, refresh it. Kevin's name is still up there for the time being, and it probably will. And then, some 18 people just disappear off of it by the time you get to tomorrow. I would assume by tomorrow, July 1st, when everything changes completely. All right, we got a break here in a moment, and Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation joining us. First, reminding you about the Fence Man. If you're looking for a fence that stands out and stands strong, the number for the Fence Man, 479-782-3936. Website is thefencemanAR.com. They feature 18-month financing, also building custom, one-of-a-kind fences, residential, commercial, and high security, even automatic gates. The Fence Man does it all. 479-782-3936. For the Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work. Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation joining us right after this break.
Oh, you seen much combat?
Well, I've seen a little on TV.
This is Halftime.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-372-2017. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-372-2017. 800-372-2017. 800-372-2017.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Greenwood, get ready to celebrate in style. It's the 2025 Freedom Fest, happening July 4th from 4 to 10 p.m. at the Town Square in Greenwood. Rock the night with the Clock, the Brandon Butler Band, and Mr. Cabbagehead and the Screaming Radishes. Enjoy water inflatables for the kids, delicious food trucks, and non-stop live music. Then cap it off with the biggest fireworks display in the region, featuring 16-inch mortar shells lighting up the sky like never before. Freedom Fest 2025, hosted by the Greenwood AMP Commission. Don't miss it.
At Wave Rural Connect, our mission's simple. improve the quality of life in our communities. We've expanded to several non-member areas to help new communities. If you live in areas near Altus, Branch, Coxville, Mountainburg, Murray, Spur, or Ozark, Wave Rural Connect may be available to you right now. Check availability online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Wave Rural Connect will continue opening new areas throughout 2025.
A lot of life can happen between sips of Dasani. You know, the life moments, big and small, that are worth getting thirsty for. Like organizing a family movie night under the stars. Or hearing an old favorite song and having an impromptu dance party. Or finding a new dinner recipe that the whole family loves. The crisp, clean taste of Dasani was made for all of life's thirst-worthy moments. Dasani, because life happens between sips.
Do you want a fireworks display that will have your kids thinking you're the coolest parent in town? Then listen up. Hey, this is Coach Olenek, but you can call me Doug. I'm one of the co-founders of Fat Boys Fireworks in Van Buren, along with my friend Dwayne Froud. We have the largest kids table in the area with all the novelty kids stuff. Come see what we mean at 5524 Highway 59 North in Figure 5, Arkansas. People tell us all the time, I wish I would have come to Fat Boys first.
Fireworks.
Oh, look, fireworks!
When Second's making a play, Short's got it covered.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle. Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage.
It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself.
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
How you gonna top yourself when there is nobody else? How you gonna do it by yourself? Cause I'm not gonna be here to help you. How you gonna do it alone when I don't pick up my phone? I love to give a dog a bone, but I'm not gonna stick around to help you.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Pig Trail Nation's Mike Irwin with us on a Monday morning. Mike, good morning. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Doing okay, man. I got into the idea that Kevin Trainor may have been let go over the last couple of segments. I know Wally writes that it's unconfirmed. It's just, I don't think that he would make that the subject of a column if this was not true. And you've been doing some digging as well. So, first of all, when you heard the news, what was your reaction?
Well, my reaction was I needed to find out the truth, and that involves talking to a whole lot of people, which I ended up doing over most of it this morning, some of it yesterday. I'm about 99 and 44, 100% convinced that I know what happened. And so, yes, he will no longer be a part. He has basically been phased out as a result of this 10% reduction in cost that Hunter Yurachek talked about last week. He's doing this because with this revenue sharing program that kicks in on July 1st, which is just 2 days away or 3 or whatever, they're going to have to come up with over $20 million in expenses they didn't have last year. And I think eventually the TV revenue, the extra TV revenue that's going to come about as a result of all this will cover this at most schools. But I don't think Arkansas is the only school that's going to be in this position. You just can't suddenly pop up and say, you got to have this much money now. So Hunter Yurachek obviously wants to make sure they've got the maximum amount of money to spend on athletes. So he's basically going to cut 10%, and he said he's not going to cut any positions that where the person directly works with athletes, like training staff, conditioning staff, the people over at where they have their academics and where they eat, the dietitians over there. Any job where you're dealing directly with athletes is safe. He talked about administrative positions and didn't name anybody. Well, the word started filtering out that involved Kevin Trainor, and then I think Wally Hall wrote a column where he said, yeah, he's probably out. Yes, he's not there. Now, I think from what I'm told, he's got some options. He can go to the foundation, but he will be there at a reduced salary, and the position is certainly not like the one he has now. Personally, I think if this decision had to be made, he should have been in charge of the foundation, because they've got a problem over there with a lot of the people that give money to the foundation don't know the people over there that are working. And Kevin Trainor would have been perfect for that job if that's what you needed to do. I'm not sure if he'll take that job. He's also got an option to go over to the academic side. I don't know if he'll take that job. This was not a result of any kind of a conflict between those two. It's not a sign that Hunter Yurachek didn't like the job Kevin was doing or Kevin was butting heads with none of that. It was a pure, cold, hard business decision to save money, and I think he made a bad mistake. Hunter Yurachek gets criticized for a lot of things, and I've defended him a lot over the years, but he showed a lack of knowledge of what's important over there to people that interact with Arkansas through athletics. Kevin Trainor's been around for 30 years. His brother played for Arkansas. There's nobody more loyal to the program, but nobody that's really stabilized things over there more than he has. I can go all the way back to when he was the assistant sports information director, the sports information director. There's nobody over there that I trust more than him. Whenever there's been a controversy, I've always called him and asked for his opinion. If he tells me the sky is green, then the sky is green, because he's that trustworthy, in my opinion. And I think he's done a whole lot of stuff behind the scenes that apparently Yurachek is not aware of in terms of doing damage control, situations where people were confused about what really happened, and he stepped forward and let people know that you're going crazy over this, and this is not really what happened. Here's the issue. And I just think he's a person that I can tell you many, many times I've called over there with questions about Yurachek where people were mad at him, and Kevin Trainor has given me the entire story, and I walked away going, well, I understand that. So he's basically apparently phasing out somebody that's had his back more than anybody over there. It's a very strange decision.
It feels... Go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
Well, I was going to say, is there anybody else? Is just this the start of it? And then my thought is you have to keep him around in some type of capacity, or do you think there's another – would you see him going to an Ole Miss, to anywhere else in the SEC and doing the same job he did here at Arkansas? Because he does have all those connections.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he wants to continue to do this type of work, he could go pretty much anywhere he wanted. I would think if it's somewhere else, it would be more at the SEC level. He worked with the SEC before he came back here. He's always the guy that handles the press conferences when they have like SEC media days. Anytime there's a big press conference that involves anything like that, either at Arkansas with athletics or the SEC or whatever, Kevin's often the guy that is in charge of that, because he's just so, I don't know how to explain it. He just takes charge of things, and he keeps what could be chaotic situations under control. I don't think I don't know what he's going to do. And he's not available for comment. I'm told that he's on vacation in Europe somewhere. Mm-hmm. So this all happened when he was out of the country. But the people that know him have told me this, and I've known him. I still remember when Rick Schaefer, the current SID, called me into his office one day when Billy Rogers decided to leave as assistant SID and go work for the Chamber of Commerce, I think, in Springdale. And there was a big opening, and Rick was trying to decide between Kevin and another candidate, and he asked me what I thought, and I said, look, man, there's nobody better than Kevin. And he got that job, and he's been there ever since. He and Charlie Fiss, and Charlie started off as one of the women's SIDs years ago, and then it ended up being the PR person for the Cotton Bowl forever, and did a fabulous job. I mean, the people in the media, I've always told them, if you go to a bowl game, you want to go to the Cotton Bowl, because there is no comparison the way you get treated and the amount of information you get and the cooperation you get from a bowl. I've seen bowls that are awful. You don't know what's going on. The Cotton Bowl was always top-notch. Charlie Fiss ran it that way, and Kevin Trainer was that kind of a PR person when you had to get information.
This seems like this is nothing other than a dollars and cents decision, which means that there were other decisions made in the same manner. If you're looking for a savings of $2.5 million and you're cutting 10% of your staff, that's 18 people that were cut last week, Mike, and the average salary would have been $139,000. We're talking senior members of your staff now. You know, Kevin
right.
Obviously would be one of them. That means you're also cutting expertise, and I'm sure there's other people in the athletic department that have been around as long as Kevin, if not a little bit longer, that might have thought the same thing could happen to them, but you end up here's what you lose with this. You lose expertise and you lose personal relationships that take time to be rebuilt. I don't mean personal relationships within the office. It's from your paying customers. And this is also against the backdrop of Remy Cofield being introduced last week, and he doesn't have a staff yet, and it sounds like they're going to hire a staff. So you're getting rid of 18 people, bringing in a whole new department of which it didn't really even sound like he could or was going to detail what his department necessarily does. So I just found that last week to be, I mean, really two ends of the same coin right now that get flipped up in the air, and it's amazing to see the differences between, what's going on in college sports, hiring people in to do a specific job and then firing some of your people that have the best expertise in a very important aspect of that industry too.
Well, I believe in the revenue sharing approach because it's, and a lot of people feel like it's not going to change anything because they say when NIL gets reduced, you're just going to go back to cheating and all that. And we're not going to know. This is going to have to be in place for a few years. But what revenue sharing is supposed to do is take the buying of players out of the mix. Everybody sort of has the same amount of money to play around with to bring in players. And so the recruiting will go back to the traditional thing of, do you like this school? Do you like these coaches? Do you like this university? And all that stuff. And so maybe it will be, but it's going to come at a cost because you're right. People have to go. And it may not be permanent again, Kevin. I think, Kevin.
It's okay. You know who you're talking.
Yeah. It may not happen this way permanently. It may just be early on because, again, I've been told that once a lot of this money is going to come from the TV people, and the TV people are arguing with especially the SEC and the Big Ten right now saying, look, we want to get rid of these games that involve mid-majors. We don't want Alabama and Alabama State or something like that. We want Alabama to play Notre Dame. We want Arkansas to play Notre Dame. We want those kind of games, which is going to make it really, really difficult. But that's what they want if they're going to give you more money. So if they get what they want, then enough money is available to schools like Arkansas where they can afford all this stuff. But it's a new day. It's changing. The problem here is, again, you've got Jeff Long, who came in here as an outsider. You have Hunter Yurachek as an outsider, and those people don't always know what's out there with boosters, fan bases, the connections that somebody that's been here for 30 years has with those people. And I think Kevin Trainer has a reputation all around through the boosters, through just ordinary fans, people he's come into contact with, and definitely the media, where this, to me, is just a mistake.
You know, I remember getting into these conversations 5-6 years ago, and it looked like there may be something coming down the line. You're wondering, well, where do the profits go in college sports? Because there aren't owners. Nobody's looking for a return on their investment or dividend checks or anything like that, like you see in professional sports. You know, and I know that administrator salaries rose at the same time that the network came in and all the TV money exploded. But really, when it came down to it, it was the coaches whose salaries exploded in ways that I think superseded anything that the administrators could do. And I know that there's instance of a couple coaches, we brought up Mike Gundy last week, cutting his salary. But you don't see as much of that as you're seeing, you know, like the regular working person get let go that had a career that you're not going to be just like jumping to another school like a coach at Kevin's age might be doing. And that just, look, I know the world is unfair, but it feels unfair to those folks.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing with the coaches, I don't know how you're ever going to control that. That's just, you know, that's the way business is done. If you run a business and some guy's over here, you know, running a tire store, and he's running that tire store a lot better than yours is being run, and you want him, you're going to have to pay money to get him, and you can't tell somebody else you can't pay him this. And I don't think they'll ever be able to regulate that, no matter what they do. Sometimes I think you do, on rare occasions, see, as you said, coaches who are willing to take less, you know, to get more money going into their program. And we may see this, I don't know, with this revenue sharing thing. You may see some coaches say, look, I'm cutting my salary by $1 million to give that money to bring in some good players. I don't know. But it's just a new world. And believe me, if this revenue sharing doesn't work, if they can't reduce the outright buying of players, Matt, a large portion of the fan base is going to go away. Clay Travis made the best argument I've ever heard, and I watched it on my phone about 2 nights ago, and I never thought of that. And what he said was, when you let schools with more money outbid schools that don't have as much money for talent, you create a mismatch of competition. And once it becomes lopsided to a certain point, nobody cares anymore. The schools that don't have the money, or their fans are going, I don't like this anymore. If you're not a fan of 2 schools, how many times do you watch a football game on Saturday and you don't care about either school, but you watch it because you like the competition? Well, if it turns out to be a bunch of lopsided stuff, or there's a group of 4 or 5 schools over here and they've got all the money and they're doing all the winning and everybody else is on the outside, I think you start losing the fans because they want balance. That's what you have in the NFL. You're not guaranteed anything in the NFL because of the draft and because of salary caps. I've said this many times before. If it's just about money, the Cowboys would win every Super Bowl. Well, they don't because there's other things that come into consideration. And what the NFL understands is what college football doesn't understand right now. You've got to balance the competition.
Mike, we got to run. Appreciate you stopping by on a Monday. Let's talk again next week, okay?
Okay.
Mike Irwin, Pig Trail Nation, with us on a Monday on Halftime. And after the break, back to wrap up hour number 1. Stay with us.
I admire you guys so much. Matt, you're my favorite Arkansas Razorback, up there with D-Mac. And Phil, you're the best announcer for college baseball, I think, in the country.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie. Nice spec.
We got trophies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Choose your escape. Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. Take a luxurious dip with the $5 Classic box. Indulge in a lavish meal with the $7 Supreme box. Or explore new worlds with the $9 Discovery box, now featuring the crispy chicken burrito for a truly unmissable experience.
Is that Tony Hawk?
Get Lux for less, only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started.
Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need.
Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless.
Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Roback's got the gear for your perfect summer days.
Go summers living on the run. Now the beachfront nights, fireflies and thunderstorms. Won't you kiss me, darling? Tell me that you're gonna stay. Yeah. Give me those East Coast summers, Maryland to Maine. Now the seas.
Shop polos, hoodies, Q-zips, and much more in the American Summer Collection at Roback.com.
Roback made finding the perfect pair of pants or shorts much easier. They're a clean fit with comfortable premium fabric. They look great on and off the golf course. So shop at Roback.com for the Delta pants and shorts.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your sports betting action. And with baseball in full swing and football season right around the corner, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting. From MLB, UFC to tennis and NFL futures, BetOnline remains your choice for sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Head to the website today and take advantage of their industry-leading VIP program with level-up bonuses and weekly cash boosts. Bet online. The game starts here.
With delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Quick segment here. Went a little bit long there with Mike Irwin. If you missed our conversation with Mike Irwin, I think it's worth listening to later on the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast that C-Movie puts out on a daily basis. Yeah, I mean, so tomorrow is the day where the house settlement begins, July 1st. You know, that's the sea change that we've been anticipating for all this time. But don't you feel, Matt, like there's another sea change that's in the offing a few years down the line? I don't know if this economy or this economic world that's being built for college sports is really going to work. I'm not quite sure.
I don't know that it's going to be a super league, but that's what it's kind of going to, where it's going to be the haves and the have-nots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what is Arkansas in that case?
Well, basketball we're a have right now, but is it based on, okay, if we go out and get a Hall of Fame coach, are we going to do that in football? No disrespect to Coach Pittman. We have it in baseball right now. When DVH leaves, are we still going to try to be upper echelon, or are we going to just kind of go back to the middle of the pack?
It's just that the only sport that you ever talk about separating from all the others is football. That's the one that would separate, leaving the others behind. And maybe then you're talking about a completely different model that I can't even really figure it out. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Hotline. 3 up, 3 down. Dr. Charlie Liggett, River Valley Smile Center, about 20 minutes from right now. Wide open when we come back after the break.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-551-3241. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-551-3241. That's 800-551-3241. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Are you a middle-aged man feeling low on energy, struggling with weight gain, a decreased libido, or even battling depression? You don't have to feel this way any longer. Hi, this is Stephen Pittman, a licensed nurse practitioner and expert on testosterone replacement therapy. At Pittman TRT in Fort Smith, our priority is to restore your vitality and energy the way you felt in your 20s. No need to drive an hour or more.
Call Pittman TRT today at 479-274-1747 or check them out online at pittmantrt.com. Pittman TRT. Get back to feeling like your old self again.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. There's a slight chance of seeing a shower. Thunderstorm or high temperatures into the low 90s. Mainly clear, low 70s tonight, and then Thursday, sunshine, low 90s. Friday, we're back to sunny skies and a high in the low to mid 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
There's only one Razorback. Isn't it the greatest mascot of all time?
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 61 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well,
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olsen and Matt Jones.
from the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
But they were one race back.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
All right, welcome back into half. Monday, 12:01, the last day of June, the last day of the current iteration of college sports before it all changes tomorrow and then changes again in another 2 or 3 years. We won't have any. Well, we will have a guest in this hour. Matt Jones is on the road. Phil Elson here. I'm in the home studio, and Christian Johnston. It must feel so weird, Matt, for Christian just to be all by himself in the studios.
Yeah,
Christian, I haven't missed a lot of men in my life, but I miss you today, buddy.
I get all the smells today, and I'm just kidding.
Oh.
It actually smells fine. I guess I'm used to it.
Did you pull the Matt Jones before the show started? Did you turn the lights down, make it romantic in the studio, open the window, get the fan blowing?
I got the fan going. I kind of got in a habit, so I kind of just went.
That fan is that's the lifesaver. If lights need to be down a little bit, but as long as there's airflow going on in there, then oof.
The fan is a must.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what we got going on this week because July starts tomorrow. It's vacation time.
Just don't go to Europe. You might lose your job.
It's good. That's a very
soon?
good point.
Oh, sorry, too soon.
Well, my daughter's going to Europe. She doesn't have a job to lose just yet. You didn't mean that one, though. I think exactly. No. I knew exactly what it was you meant there. Wonder what it'll look like by the time we get to August 1st.
Well, that's kind of what I asked Mike. Phil, was this the start of the avalanche? Is this the first? Who else are some other big names? Who's another heavy hitter or two? Because if you're talking about big names or big things that mean a lot, I think KT's up there as the top 3, top 4 valuable commodities to the program, and he's gone.
There was I think of Kevin in the way, and I can always connect to my experiences as an intern working up through baseball. And there was a woman named Sally O'Leary who was the director of Pirates alumni. She's not doing that anymore. I think she passed away. And Jim Turdinich, who was my boss there, is now doing that. Those are the people that always connect to the history of the franchise, even a franchise that literally doesn't have any history that's worth remembering for the most part of the last 30 years. There's still people that can connect you to the history of the athletics department, tell you all the stories and all that. It's not just Eduardo. It's guys like Rick Schaefer. It's just there's fewer of them, and not as many of them are connected to the school. And I think of, if you're looking to cut a certain amount of money, and you're not cutting coaches' salaries, and you're not cutting any of the support staff for the teams, well, then you're probably cutting some of your most senior staff members, which is exactly what has happened. 877-377-6963 calls and texts. If you hadn't heard earlier, we got into it. Wally said it was unconfirmed, but for more or less, Mike Irwin practically confirmed Kevin Trainor let go by the university.
Hasn't he been the MC at the SEC football media days for the last handful of years?
I think the last 20 years or so, he's been the moderator at SEC media.
Yeah.
In fact, I was joking with Kevin about that at the College World Series. I mean, this had to have come out of right field for him too. I mean, out of the bullpen, not even the bullpen, from the upper deck in right field, for crying out loud. That's where it came from. Because we were talking about SEC media days, which are now in 2 weeks or a little more than 2 weeks, and
I don't know. Give you any indication?
No, not at all. And him not being at Arkansas might not necessarily mean that he's not the moderator at the SEC media days or the Cotton Bowl. I mean, I think that's working for that organization, but that also goes to show the kind of respect that man has for these big time organizations. Speaking of big time, we got a couple callers on hold with us here, one of whom I don't think we've heard from for a long, long time. First is somebody we usually hear from, and it's Charlie on the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Good afternoon, Charlie. How are you?
Well, I'll be quick since you guys want to get to the person you haven't.
No, we don't need, no, seriously. When you hear who's on hold, you can talk for the next hour and 30 minutes as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I will say this, you don't need me to come up there because I'm not going to help the smell or anything, because I am a tuna. So
that's true.
I'll spray myself down with cologne or something. I guess any kind of cologne, that I can find, try to help out. But anyway, Man, it is a hot day, but it's a beautiful Monday. And I was going to say, I was thinking about this. I said last week, I'm not as excited about this football team. Well, as this college football video game gets closer to coming out, the Tuna's brain and all that, I mean, everything is starting to percolate a little bit. I'm just starting to perk up, man. I don't know what it is. College football, I love the game. And I was thinking about last year, and obviously the year before, as you guys remember, our offensive line was awful. I mean, it was as bad as it could possibly get. I mean, you can't even – I thought last year better. But, I think the key to this team, and, everybody always talks about, the quarterback, and I get it. Look, Taylor's going to be better. I'm not worried about him. But he will go as that group goes. If this offensive line can hold its own against some of these SEC D lines, then I think the offense will be fine. I don't know what the stats were last year, Phil, but I know between the 20s, we were actually fairly good, if I'm not mistaken, but we did struggle in the red zone again. If I'm not mistaken on that, but don't quote me. I'm thinking back to last year. But you could definitely tell against teams like A&M, LSU, those kind of teams, we couldn't block them. And then defensively, it's going to be the same. If we can get pressure without having to blitz all the time, then we'll be better. But we'll see. But, look, we're going to be picked, what do you think, Phil, 14th this year? Which doesn't really matter, I guess, in hindsight. What do you guys think will be picked in SEC Media Days? I know it doesn't matter.
I bet you a little better than 14, but my guess would be 12 or 13.
They won't finish 14th.
I saw, by the way, the Big 12 is doing away with the preseason media poll. They'll still have preseason player of the year and defensive player of the year and all of that, but they're not doing a preseason media poll. So they're not predicting the order of finish. I think the Big Ten doesn't do one either. The SEC, it's like, I don't even think I could imagine the SEC not doing a preseason poll and then people referring to it all season long.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, they're overrated. I mean, I think about the 21, 22 team or whatever team there was. We weren't picked very high and we did well, but that team had so many guys back. It's just a different game and different era. It's hard to capture it. With this baseball team, I don't know how many total players are on the roster, but, for them to have that amazing chemistry and what they do, the reason they can go out there and do what they do every year, yeah, they're talented, but, man, it's just something about that. And when you got football and you're trying to deal with 85 guys, it's hard to deal with that every year when you got 30-plus people entering the portal every year. So that's what's tough about it. Anyways, y'all have a good one.
And they have a second window to leave after spring ball's over, where you can see the reason why they do it. And but yeah, that makes it a little more difficult. Charlie, thank you very much. You only spoke for 3 minutes and 45 seconds. So it sounded like he wanted to get out of the way of the next person, Matt. He doesn't even know who the next person is. If he did, he might not want to get out of his way. 877-377-6963. You have a caller that bugs you more than anything else here, Matt?
Do I have a caller? Not here. No, not yet. Should I? Do I have one that I'm going to add to the list?
There might be one, because it's been a few months since he called, because I think the last time I said anything to him, it was in reference to,
did he pay up his bet?
Have you paid your bet? And I think the word was no, and then there was a hang up, and that was that. So that would have been in November. And I think he's been texting in, according to, I forget one of our listeners that texted into Chuck and Bo about this, that he's been texting in here and calling in on the buzz as Ron and Lamar. So all you got to do is just hear the voice once. And we'll do this here right now because this is the last day of the current iteration of college sports. Tomorrow, everything changes. So we won't hear from him in the month of July. But here on June 30th, Brian in Ozark is here with us for the first time in months. I guess he was on Chuck and Bo this morning, too. Which means he's been on these airwaves earlier today. Brian, what's up? How you been?
I've been pretty good. Yourself?
That is Brian in Ozark. I wouldn't even need to say your name, and I know the voice, Brian. I'm good. Thank you.
Well, good. That means I'm distinctive. I got a question for you, though. So this revenue sharing, $20 million for each school, right?
20 and a half, I think, is what the SEC is doing. 2.5 of those, $2.5 of those millions are new scholarships, though.
Okay. So is that basically just to pay players or what?
Straight up.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Each school does their own formula for the sports that they will involve in revenue share. And the revenue share will be different school to school. Arkansas is not releasing the percentage of the revenue share that they're divvying up for football specifically, but like Oklahoma's involving softball in their revenue share, which makes sense for Oklahoma softball. Might not make sense for a lot of other teams in the SEC, but for Oklahoma it does. So Brian, it's different sport to sport. I think they're playing with the same dollar figure, but then from there you divvy it up the way you want.
Okay. So that brings to my other question. Like, for instance, the SEC revenue school, like Texas raked in $325 million total revenue last year.
For the athletic department.
Ohio State was second at $289. Even though Texas is getting that $20.5 million, they can continue to spend more on players. Is that right or wrong?
Not legally. That's where this is supposed to be some sort of a cap. This revenue share is supposed to do away with the collectives. It's supposed to mean that all the schools are playing from the same amount of money, and that it's kind of supposed to be, I think, a cap of some sort for the department itself. But then there's the thought that a lot of this is going under the table. Brian, this next year is different than any other because you got a school like Texas Tech spending whatever the money figure is, $45 million, $55 million on their team, and they've spent that money already. The money went out the door before the House settlement was approved. So that money's already in the players' pockets. So that means Texas Tech may be playing with a team that's making $50 million this year, but they won't be able to do that again next year unless they throw $35 million or so under the table, and I don't know if that table's big enough.
Right. Well, man, just in my opinion, so the top teams with the top money are being punished because they can make the money, and the smaller schools that can't make it reap the benefits by being brought equal. Is that kind of the way you see it, or not?
I think that that people with the larger schools may look at it from that aspect, but then why then in that case, why not just have Texas and Ohio State and Michigan and Florida and USC, the big schools that have the kind of enrollment that usually goes along with the giant revenues into the athletics department. Those should be the teams that are in the only league there. Smaller schools would be in their own league, but that's not the world we live in. We live in a world where you get schools of disparate sizes within the SEC, and there needs to be some sort of fairness that isn't just connected to basically the size of your school. And that's what the NFL's tried to do. That's what the NBA's tried to do. It's what the NHL has done. It's what Major League Baseball has struggled to do so badly. That if you're really trying to play from an area where there's supposed to be a level playing field, the size of your city, the size of your alumni base should not be a reason why you're better than anybody else.
All right, cool. I just wanted to ask those. I appreciate it. You're the most knowledgeable guy in every way I know, so I thought I'd ask.
The nicest thing you've ever said to me, Brian. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. You can call back again, even tomorrow, 877-377-6963 for calls and texts. That was an informative, inquisitive phone call from Ron /
was it an act?
Brian in Lamar, Ozark. I don't know if that was an act or not, but it certainly sounded like. Brian, if you're in danger, call back, and I think the safe word is tippy toe. You just shout tippy toe a couple of times, we'll send somebody after you. We'll triangulate your cell phone signal, okay?
Your father wears his sneakers in the pool?
3 up, 3 down with Dr. Charlie Liggett is right after this on Halftime.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
For decades, the Rebel Crawfish has been a tackle box staple. But now, get ready for the next generation. Introducing the all-new Rebel Matte series of Rebel Crawfish. 4 all-new ultra matte colors that eliminate glare and enhance realism, mimicking a natural crawfish like never before. The same iconic shape and swimming action, but now with a stunning matte finish. Upgrade to the all-new matte series of Rebel Crawfish today at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Dick's Sporting Goods, and local tackle shops everywhere. Rebel. Catch fish anywhere.
Adventure doesn't wait, and neither should you. Start your next journey at Arkansas's #1 fifth wheel dealer, Wheels RV in Northwest Arkansas. No matter the size of your family or your budget, Wheels RV has a new travel trailer or fifth wheel to help you explore the great outdoors. And with our exclusive lifetime warranty on every new RV, you can hit the open road with peace of mind. Come see us on 412 in Tawnytown or check us out at wheelsrv.net. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlog projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
When you're craving serious burger goodness, head to Hardee's for the all-new barbecued pulled pork Frisco burger. A charbroiled, quarter-pound, 100% Angus beef patty, topped with 16 hours slow-smoked barbecued pulled pork on toasted sourdough. Only for a limited time at Hardee's. Get a free pulled pork Frisco burger when you download the app and join My Rewards. The app for terms.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BODY to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BODY to 321-321. That's BODY to 321-321.
Forsgren is hiring immediately. Forsgren Incorporated, a heritage company and premier employer, is now hiring equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Have experience in any of these areas? Apply now at goforsgren.com. Don't delay. Forsgren is hiring now at goforsgren.com. Don't miss your opportunity to join the Forsgren legacy. Forsgren has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Apply now at goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Leaned over and gave her a kiss. She blew up in my face. I didn't even know her name. Outside the party was dark and cloudy. Smoke was pouring out of the kitchen. I was singing about the price of admission. Headed for the knock on the door. Feeling like I've been there before. Until he stood up on the couch and said, "Oh, Maria's killing me."
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
A little bit more of a subdued widespread panic to bring us back here. In our second segment, hour number 2 on a Monday, we've got Dr. Charlie Liggett from River Valley Smile Center on the phones. Let's do 3 Up, 3 Down.
It's time for 3 Up, 3 Down. Presented by River Valley Smile Center with Dr. Charles Liggett.
3, good morning, good afternoon, good night.
What does 3 up and 3 down mean to you, Airman?
End of an inning, strike 3.
Charlie, how are you? This is our last 3 Up, 3 Down for a couple of months. Rushmore season will not involve 3 Up, 3 Down until we get into September. So, Charlie, let's make this one count, right?
Yeah, that's why I played that song. That's called "End of the Show" by Widespread Panic. Just a little. We're going to end it here and be back in a couple months.
There are only 3 people in the world that are allowed to request songs that will get played on halftime. Matt Jones is one of them, and I'm the other, and then you're the third. So that makes you a very special person, Charlie. Congratulations.
I'm honored.
Well,
I'm honored to be in that company.
Yeah, and time to time we do take requests. That's and Alyssa, she has her own
true.
theme music there. So
Yep.
yeah.
She didn't pick that
JJ
one,
Gray,
though.
huh?
Yeah. So I got my first up, and this one took me by surprise. I know it took you by surprise. Maybe it shouldn't have taken you by surprise, Charlie. As a Dolphins fan, you knew that Miami was looking to trade Jalen Ramsey, but did you think you were getting Minkah Fitzpatrick back from the Steelers?
I did not think he was going to come back around.
It's not quite a straight up trade. There's a tight end and Jalen Ramsey that are going from Miami, along with I think a 7th round pick to Pittsburgh for Minkah Fitzpatrick and a 5th round pick. So, there were things that a lot of the Steeler defenders were saying, specifically the cornerbacks, after the playoff loss, and they weren't pointing fingers at Minkah, but they basically were pointing fingers at him without pointing fingers at him. So this trade may have been a while in the making, or expected that it would come. I do like Jalen Ramsey as a cornerback for my team that will also have Darius Slay and Joey Porter Jr. at cornerback. This is a pretty good group. Now I know Ramsey's in his 10th year, so maybe
He'll
not
still
quite
come
as
hit
quick.
you. He'll still come hit you. He can play zone. He can set the edge. There's still a couple things that he does really, really well.
He just didn't make the big plays for Miami last year that I was really expecting to see out of him. But like you said, I mean, he's still one of the best to play the position.
Well, that's funny because I didn't see those big plays from Fitzpatrick with Pittsburgh either. So maybe headed back to Miami, we'll bring it back. So it's just interesting. It's rare that you end up getting traded back to a team that traded you. That's rare.
No
I
kidding.
mean, I can't even off the top of my head remember moments.
Branch, remember the receiver for Brady, Super Bowl MVP, goes to Seattle, comes back and plays for New England another year or two at the end of his career.
The talk for Jalen Ramsey was for him to go back to L.A. That was kind of the where they were trying to work out the trade for him to go back to.
I think it's a 1-year deal. I know there might be another option with it though, but I think they're gotten Aaron Rodgers. They went and got him a tight end. They have him I think Metcalf is a top 10 receiver in the NFL. And so I think they're trying to make sure they have a chance to go to the playoffs this year.
Well, and also you can't be trading that 1st round pick because that's a quarterback next year. Now that Rodgers has basically said that this is his last year,
it's Arch Manning. Yeah.
Oh gosh, that'll be fun. If he's there, wherever Pittsburgh picks, he might not have had the season that they were hoping he was going to have. My first down is, and we got into it in the first hour. The university athletic department letting go Kevin Trainor. Again, I can't see what it's like or feel what it's like to be a person that makes those decisions. And I'm not advocating that somebody else should have lost his or her job too. It's a terrible time in the athletic department with 18 people losing their positions. And I hate that Kevin Trainor apparently is one of the people that has lost his job. And also at the same time, I think it's a loss of a career because he's been in college sports communication for over 30 years, and it doesn't feel like he's going to be in that any longer. So those are my first ones. Matt, go ahead.
All right. My first up goes to a 34-year-old personal trainer, Edward Molyneux, and it sparked an interest, Phil, because we were talking about getting into the Guinness Book of World Records
with my knuckle cracking.
He got into the Guinness Book of World Records for a 365-day span, April 6, 2023, April 7th to 2024. He ran 465 half marathons. How do you do anything else if you're doing that? But, I'd like to start a book always and just read half of it and then say I did something and then put it on the shelf and start another book. So at least he's running half marathons instead of reading half a book.
It's a lot of running, man. That would be a tougher. I think that would be a tougher record to break than the knuckle and joints popping that I'm trying to break.
Yeah, right? Wow. And
I'll crack 465 joints just today on my body alone, though.
My third down, it's kind of an up, but it's a down. We lost a legend, Dave Parker. He Pittsburgh legend for years. I think he got to Pittsburgh in '83, the year I was born. I don't know Dave Parker really playing anywhere else. I know he played other places, but 339 home runs, almost 1,500 RBIs, 1,493 RBIs. He's in the Hall of Very Good.
He's going into the Hall of Fame next month.
Oh my goodness! Are you serious? And now, wow.
Yeah, I'll have it for later. But
didn't he swing a sledgehammer on the on-deck circle?
I don't know if he might have. Willie Stargell may have done the same, but they were the stars, obviously, of those mid to late '70s Pirates, and Parker had one of the coolest nicknames, the Cobra. I mean,
the Cobra,
and he was a left-handed version of Dave Winfield. Although Winfield went to college and Parker came right out of high school in Mississippi. Parker was a Pirate 73 to 83. Reds after that, played for Pete Rose, finished his career with the A's and won a World Series with the A's in '89. Parkinson's disease ravaged his body for the last 13 or 14 years. And I was lucky enough to see him as a kid playing for the '82 and '83 Pirates. And he was one of the great. If you ever have a chance to see it, you got to see his highlights of the I think it was the '78 All-Star game. He made 2 throws from right field. He may have had the strongest arm of that era, and I just dying a month before he going. At least he knew he was going to be inducted, but he didn't get a chance to take part in that. Go ahead, Charlie. What's your first ones?
Okay, my first one. Right after I got back from Omaha, Courtney Deifel was speaking at a Girls Inc. event here in town. And I went out there, and it's the first time that I got to meet her. And oh my gosh, what an amazing person she is! I was just blown away. I mean, I seriously think I quit my job today and go play for her. I mean, she was that. You can see why those girls will run through a wall for her. I mean, she's legit. I was very, very happy to meet her. I know you know her, right, Phil?
I've met her a couple times. She's terrific. We've had her on the show. Friendly. Looks you in the eye, a lot of energy, fun conversation. I think she's tremendous. Absolutely, Charlie.
Yeah. And my first down was, okay, so you got the SEC Player of the Year, who is also the Golden Spikes Award winner, but he's not mentioned on the D1 All-American list.
Oh, boy.
So my down is to Kendall Rogers right there. I mean, come on. Kendall Rogers usually does good stuff. I usually like it. I just a little bit disappointed in that.
I got into this last week with a couple people, but you know why they did that. This year, Charlie, was interesting because you had some great shortstops specifically that were, 2 finalists for the Golden Spikes. But Baseball America's Player of the Year was, if I remember, I think it was Chalowski, the shortstop for UCLA, and I think he was D1 Baseball's choice as Player of the Year. And they had Lodis as their DH and Chalowski as their shortstop. And Vahiva wins the Golden Spikes, but not the Dick Hauser. Lodis wins the Dick Hauser. Aloy's not the winner of the D1 Baseball Player of the Year. So, I mean, they're going to put the shortstop that wins their award for Player of the Year on first team. That's just a given. And that says more than anything. It's just there were great shortstops this year, and nobody could quite make up their mind as to who was the best of them, truly.
Yeah.
All right, I got a second up, and it sounds like this. Obviously, you're hearing the theme song to the Dukes of Hazzard in the background with some screaming folks in Somerset, Kentucky. They were watching a stunt car jumper named Raymond Kahn complete his 30th Dukes of Hazzard jump in the General Lee vehicle and everything over a fountain in downtown Somerset, Kentucky. There were 35,000 people watching this thing. Does a 150-foot jump through these blue fountains, and when he lands, the right door basically fell off the car. It looked like he might have swerved into some onlookers, but thankfully there were barriers to
like bumper
save them.
bowling, yeah.
And then you remember that all of the stunts, I think or at least most of the stunts of the General Lee back in the day on Dukes of Hazzard were made of models. So this Raymond Kahn is about as badass as it gets to do it 30 times and to be alive for every one of them. And then it's just fun to play Waylon Jennings with the good old boys, too. Second down goes to the New York Mets because they were swept by the Pirates by a combined score over the weekend of 30-4. And this is my favorite part of it. They lose Friday 9-1. Pirates beat the Mets Saturday 9-2. At that point, the Mets had lost 12 of 15 games, so they had a players-only meeting. Matt, you've been a part of players-only meetings. You got to make sure you only choose one time to do it because you can't have too many of those, right?
Can't have 7 of them in a season.
What happens if you have a players-only meeting and then the next day you lose 12-1?
Man,
It didn't quite have the effect they were looking for.
Yeah, that's tough.
Well done, New York Mets. Right after a players-only meeting, they lose to the second worst team in the National League, and the Pirates 12-1. Way to go, New York Mets. Matt, go ahead.
All right. Mine goes to another Matt. Matt Freese, the goalkeeper for the U.S. men's national team right now. They advanced. They will take on Guatemala July 2nd, but they 4-3 in a shootout. They fell down 1-0 and was able to come back, tie it up 2-2. Extra times went to a shootout. So a little grit. And that's what you want to see. They really haven't been doing, they got a new coach and haven't been doing as well. But now you get another chance. You win this game and you're in the championship. So, yeah, but looking forward to that game July 2nd. And then my down, I guess it goes to the Lakers. I just don't get how you're paying a 41-year-old LeBron James $52 million to be on. So last year, 24 points a game, 7 boards, 8 assists. He played 70 games. I get it. He's still putting up numbers and all that, but wow, that's a lot of cash to play for one player that. It's the Lakers aren't winning a title next year anyway. So
is this it? Is it because this is the last year of his contract? He didn't. You don't usually play on the last year of a contract.
The thing it goes back to what you're talking about with Kevin Trainor and how everything becomes a bottom line type of thing. So LeBron James ends his career as a Laker. They have the rights to sell all that he scored his last bucket. For the next 50 years, they're going to be able to sell LeBron James jerseys. Who knows? Does he go into the Hall of Fame? He's won a title with 3 different teams, the Heat, the Cavs, and the Lakers. Which one does everybody just assumes he's going to go in as a Cleveland Cavalier, right? But what about him and Gilbert when they got into the kind of the thing and then he leaves? They had a little tiff. So I could see him going into a Laker. And then also, he wants part ownership. It's kind of like that $52 million. It's like, he wants to be an owner. I don't know, just a little too much for me to pay for a guy that's going to be 41 years old as the seasons get going this year.
That's amazing to think just that amount of money, but what are you going to do? Tell him to take a pay cut? Dr. Liggett, go ahead. You got number 2.
Okay, my second. When I was playing baseball in college, we had one of our assistant coaches was named Patrick Kircher. Well, this weekend, the Hogs signed his son from OU, to pitch for us next year. So super happy for him and his family. Great kid. Really a lot of talent too. I mean, I think he's thrown as hard as up to 99 from Little Rock Christian. He's first team All-American, and hopefully he'll be able to help us out this year.
Hey, we need all the help we can get. That because you're replacing a lot of really good players. You need to make sure you bring some more of them in. I think they're going to have a pretty good team next year, though. Anyway, Dr. Liggett, what's your second down?
Second down is Dwayne Lucas died at 89. The horse trainer. He won 7 Preaknesses. The right way to say that, Preaknesses. 4 Kentucky Derbies and 4 Belmont Stakes wins. So 15 of the Triple Crown wins. I think that's the second most of all time. But I've heard his name my whole life. Every time there's a big race.
Yeah, it looked like he was 90 years old, passed away at 90. And I'd read a little bit of a really nice piece by Pat Forty about him after he'd announced he wouldn't be back into horse racing. And then I think just a couple of days after the article came out, he passed away. I got a third up. Third up is for Jalen Williams and Bobby Portis signing extensions with the teams that they're currently with. Jalen getting $24 million over 3 years, so he's getting a bump of $6 million per season on average, from $2 million to $8 million. And Portis is getting a $3.7 million bump, $44 million for 3 years. He made $11 million this year. He'll make $14.7 next year. So I believe that is a third contract, or is that a fourth contract for Portis? Second contract for Jalen. And my third down is Dave Parker dying a month before going into the Hall of Fame. I hate it for him. Obviously, death, wouldn't wish that on anybody, but I would have liked for him to be able to speak to his teammates one last time and the fans in Cooperstown one last time and see his plaque, which I'm assuming would have had a pirate on it. Parker was part of one of the iconic teams, I think, in the history of the sport, the 79 Pirates, which is the last Pirates team to make a World Series. This is one of the reasons why I just have trouble rooting for them. But back then, that's a franchise and an organization that tried and cared about winning. And Parker was the epitome of a five-tool player. He ran, and he ran like no big man could run. He was 6'5", 230, and he could have played football if that was his choice. He could hit a ball out of any stadium. He could throw it from the warning track to the plate on maybe one bounce or on the fly. He hit for average. He was a batting champion and came through in the clutch and was known for playing hard. But he also wore the most badass shirt I've ever seen a baseball player wear. You've seen this before, and he's wearing one of these like hats. It's almost a pimp hat, and the shirt says in big bold letters, "If you hear any noise, it's just me and the boys bopping." That's just amazing. And Matt, I think you brought it up the other day. It's that great photo in the dugout of the two Pirates that are smoking a heater. And there's Grant Jackson sitting behind Dave Parker. They got the pillbox hat. They got the Stargell star. And Dave Parker he's at the end of the cigarette. It's like he's smoking the filter, or there's no filter on it. I mean, he was just down to pinching it. It's in the dugout, for crying out loud. One of the coolest men that ever played the game.
My third up goes to the movie F1 with Brad Pitt. It made 144 globally, 55 in the US of A. F1's probably a popular sport, more popular in Europe. So it's I guess since the last one, Top Gun Maverick, that was supposed to go see in IMAX, that's kind of what you're supposed to go do with that one. So going to try to check that one out as well. And then my down goes to me. Of course, earlier today, Phil so politely didn't correct me, but his last year with Dave Parker's year was with the Pirates was 83, and I said that was his first year. It was 73 was his first year, so a Monday slip up. And then also, did you know the Wallflowers lead singer is Bob Dylan's son? I had no idea. Like I almost got in. Like I was like somebody's like that's Bob. I was like that's no way that's Bob Dylan. And apparently it is.
Apparently it legitimately is. Yes.
I had no idea. So I was wrong. That's two.
And that girl in the movie with the comet that's going to blow up the Earth. That's Steven Tyler's daughter. Amazing.
Oh,
Dr. Liggett, go ahead. Number 3.
Okay, my last up. I'm going to give you guys a little homework since I'm going to be gone for a few months. I've got a little playlist that I put together. I'll send it, Phil. I'll send it to you and Matt and Christian, and you got 2 months to check them out to see if you like these songs. Let me know when I come back. So the first is Widespread Panic, first band with a song called Surprise Valley and a song called Tall Boy. Second group is Dead and Company, and that's with John Mayer singing for the Grateful Dead, Brown Eyed Woman. Then Traffic, doing Low Spark of High Heeled Boys. And the last band is Little Feat with a song called Willin'. And we'll see what you guys think of those songs. I'll get those playlists texted out to you in a minute.
All right, third down, and we got to be quick.
My third down is just, man, I love doing the show with you guys. Hated that I'm going to be gone for a little while, but can't wait to get back.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have a couple months off, though, too, Dr. Liggett, that's for sure. But River Valley Smile Center, wide open, and folks can still call them at 479-646-0706, featuring cosmetic dentistry at River Valley Smile Center, veneers, full mouth rehabilitation, Botox. Make sure you look and feel your absolute best. Dr. Liggett combines expert care and artistic skill to create beautiful, natural-looking results, all while keeping you relaxed and comfortable. Go to rivervalleysmiles.com to schedule your consultation today. It's River Valley Smile Center, where you become family. Doc, see you in a couple months. Travel safe, okay?
Sounds good. You guys have a good one.
Stay with us. More Halftime in just a moment.
The second thing we talked about at halftime is
This is halftime.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas. More than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Choose your escape. Taco Bell's $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. Take a luxurious dip with the $5 Classic box. Indulge in a lavish meal with the $7 Supreme box. Or explore new worlds with the $9 Discovery box, now featuring the crispy chicken burrito for a truly unmissable experience.
Is that Tony Hawk?
Get Lux for less, only at Taco Bell.
Lewis Automotive has been serving Northwest Arkansas for over 75 years and just getting started. Our knowledgeable sales team is here to find you the perfect vehicle to fit not only your lifestyle, but also your budget.
Our factory-trained service technicians keep your vehicle running at optimal level.
And if you're looking for genuine parts and accessories, our team has exactly what you need. Relax in our comfortable lounge. And when your car's ready, we'll return it to you spotless. Thank you for being a part of our story.
Come see us at Lewis Automotive Group, where you're more than a customer, you're family.
Roback's got the gear for your perfect summer days.
East Coast summers dipping on the run. Now the beachfront nights, 5,000 thunderstorms. Won't you kiss me, darling? Tell me that you're gonna stay. Yeah. Give me those East Coast summers, Maryland to Maine. Now the seaside.
Shop polos, hoodies, Q-zips, and much more in the American Summer Collection at Roback.com.
Roback made finding the perfect pair of pants or shorts much easier. They're a clean fit with comfortable premium fabric. They look great on and off the golf course. So shop at Roback.com for the Delta pants and shorts.
Get 20% off on your first order with the code RUSH25.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your sports betting action. And with baseball in full swing and football season right around the corner, BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting. From MLB, UFC to tennis and NFL futures, BetOnline remains your choice for sports wagering information. In between games, head over to the BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. Head to the website today and take advantage of their industry-leading VIP program with level-up bonuses and weekly cash boosts. Bet online. The game starts here.
From the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive Hotline. We'll have one more guest on in about 30 minutes. It's Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South. He's got a series of columns right now during talking season about the best things about each team in the SEC. And he says right now the best thing that Arkansas's got going would be Taylon Green, Xavier Sori, Antonio Jordan, wide receiver, in terms of the best freshman, and coordinator continuity, which does have to stand for something in this sport too. So I'd be interested to hear his thoughts on that once we get to him in about 30 minutes, Matt. But here we are. It's the last day before the month where you got media days, and we'll be previewing the football season within the next about 2 weeks.
I think he's right on those things. Some of the things that you want to see is, can Arkansas run the football? Because I think that we're talking about the offensive line, and can you protect Taylon Green, Phil? You know the best way to be able to protect your quarterback is to be able to run the football. And so if we can do that, Braylon Russell, you think he could be a 1,000-yard rusher? Maybe that's a question I have for Connor. Do you think Braylon could get to 1,000 yards this year?
He looked like the kind of runner that could. I just don't know if I feel like there'll be a splitting of carries, because just reading about the things that have been said about Mike Washington, the guy who's coming in from New Mexico State. I don't know if it'll be split 50-50, but I do think both of those guys are going to have an opportunity to tote the rock quite a bit. But I really like Braylon Russell. There's definitely something to work with there. A lot to work with there. There's a lot to work with in a moment. We'll break and back to wrap up hour number 2 of Halftime right after this.
Call an ambulance, but not for me.
This is Halftime.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal. The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BODY to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BODY to 321-321. That's BODY to 321-321.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
Shake me down. Not a lot of people left around. Who knows now? Softly laying on the ground. Not a lot of people left around. In my life, I've seen people walk into the sea, just to find memories, plagued by constant misery. Their eyes cast down, fixed upon the ground. Their eyes cast down.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Arkansas football got a commitment from Lancaster cornerback Victor Lincoln, flipped him from Oklahoma State to Arkansas. So I saw the Hogs just lost an in-state recruit to Oklahoma State, and now you've gotten one of their top recruits to come to the Razorbacks instead. It'll be part of the 2026 class, 6 foot, 175, recruits offers from North Carolina, Nebraska, Oregon State, SMU, Oklahoma State, Arkansas. So there's one commit coming into the Razorbacks. Got another hour left here on halftime. Wide open, except for talking with Connor O'Gara in about 20 minutes. 877-377-6963. Today, the anniversary of the first round of the 93 draft, Matt. Chris Webber went first overall. Do you remember who picked him?
Anthony Hardaway. Yeah, it was the Magic and the Warriors. I remember that. I remember following those. But 19 years ago, what movie came out today?
19 years ago would be 2006. Is it Snatch? No, it's not Snatch. Which one? Tell me.
The Devil Wears Prada.
Hey, any Anne Hathaway movie I'm into, especially if it's got Meryl Streep
Tom Brady's
involved.
wife or ex-wife, her Taekwondo instructor's now wife, Gisele Bundchen. She was.
You see, they were not rumors, but apparently Tom Brady and Sydney Sweeney were dancing at the wedding of the Amazon founder.
So you know who she left the party with, though?
Not Tom Brady.
Orlando Bloom. Heard that though, yeah. So if we're hearing these things, you know both of these things have to be true.
I thought maybe she was Aaron Rodgers' new wife.
No, her and Orlando Bloom were holding hands and knacking outside somewhere. They saw, yeah.
They call it knacking these days. Oh man, apparently. Things have changed in the world. Hour number 3 of halftime's coming up. That's not changing. Things do stay the same.
At Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway, Van Buren, there's never been a better time to buy. Stop in today and check out our huge discounts on new Chevrolets and pre-owns. No reasonable offer will be refused, and at Roads, we always give you more for your trade. Plus, we offer free pickup and delivery. You can even buy remotely. Stop in and let us show you the Roads way with our 2-year complimentary maintenance program on every vehicle sold. Experience the Roads way. Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway, where you get the best prices, period.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off. Or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV with hands-free driving assistance and go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $900 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, plenty of sunshine. There's a slight chance of seeing a shower. Thunderstorm high temperatures into the low 90s. Mainly clear, low 70s tonight, and then Thursday, sunshine, low 90s. Friday, we're back to sunny skies and a high in the low to mid 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Make sure you're subscribed to the Hit That Line Podcast Network. If you do, the podcast will automatically download to your phone. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to your favorite shows. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 61 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Oh, ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin dominate, and we not doing it.
We're gonna go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What they for one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Welcome back. It's our third hour, 101 on halftime. This is ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app, which is brought to you by Taco Bell. Yesterday I went to the store with my daughter, and I bought my first bottle of Taco Bell hot sauce. Can we just get back to the day where you just ask for 4 handfuls of the stuff in the drive-thru, and then that's your house sauce? Now we're supposed to buy it at the grocery store? What's wrong here, Matt?
Well, did you see Delaware? You know how each state can do whatever they want, I guess. They're not going to hand out napkins or packages of ketchup anymore at local restaurants. So it's just everybody. It's capitalism at its finest. We're all burning right now because everybody's trying to make an extra dollar, and that's the only reason they're not doing it. And the same thing in Delaware. It's like, we're not going to hand this out, napkins. Where can we save money so our CEOs can go on better vacations?
We can just get back to where some of our kids are. Like, my son is definitely at the place where I've got all sorts of paper products that you can wipe your face with in the house. Does he ever use them? No, because why would you reach for a paper product when you've got a forearm that's perfect for wiping whatever's on your face?
And a sleeve.
Yeah, I mean, these are...
What are we doing with this?
Yeah, they don't need napkins. The ketchup packet's another thing. You need the ketchup packet. I saw this great device that I need to get my hands on, which obviously nobody in the state of Delaware is going to need at some point soon. You know how there's always a little bit of ketchup left in the packet? And it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. I want to get every little drop out of that. Well, there's this little device that looks like a small ketchup bottle, very small, just the size of your pinky, of your middle finger, not that finger, the other finger. And it's got a little slot where you open the ketchup packet, you stick it in, and then you roll the cap, and it brings the ketchup packet through the squeeze part, and then next thing you know, the thing's all flat, all the ketchup's on your plate. Never have that in Delaware, though, Matt. Go figure. Hopefully what are you going to do at Taco Bell, then, for crying out loud? Or Arby's? I mean, these are places that you got to have your horsey sauce, which might be my favorite condiment.
Well, I mean, if you're in Holland, I've seen them slap mayonnaise all over the fries. I mean, you'd dig it the most.
A couple of birthdays I was going to throw out here. Michael Phelps, greatest Olympian of all time.
42. How old is Phelps?
He's 40. You were right.
40.
You were right there. You're close. Yeah.
4. Okay. I don't think so. Most decorated Olympian of all time. We can say that. But a lot of those were team medals that he didn't even swim. On the prelims, getting up to it. Is he talented? Yeah. I'm not taking anything away from him, but it's like saying, is Bill Russell the best basketball player ever because he has the most championships? That's not how it goes. But yes, he would be on the short list of greatest Olympians all time, but I do not think he's the first. I would go more Jesse Owens.
Maybe the greatest Olympian swimmer of all time. But
yeah, but I mean, he wasn't doing the heats, and then I get it. I'm with you, Unit. I'm with you.
28 medals, 23 golds, including 8 at the 2008 Beijing Olympics. I still don't, in my lifetime, though, I can't remember anybody that just dominated a single Olympic competition for really the coverage of it than Michael Phelps. You know, I can't remember what was the name of the guy who was known as the Big Tomato Winter Olympics. He was a snowboarder, Shaun White.
Oh yeah, Shaun White.
Yeah, it's like
the flying tomato.
That's right, not the big tomato. I got to get these things correct. So yeah, Michael Phelps turns 40.
Katie Ledecky, in her race, she's the best. You know, like if you wanted to start doing that, you know, like what you see her do in that one distance race.
Today is Mike Tyson's birthday, too. Tyson today is 59.
59!
Hey, you're just a year or two off on both of these.
Close.
Did you see Jake Paul beat Cesar Chavez Jr. over the weekend? I didn't watch a single. Yeah, who knows? Because if it was anything like the Tyson fight, that's about a setup of a setup. Now Paul is calling out Anthony Jordan. If I remember his name.
Now
correct. He's like 6'7".
He'll be calling out Michael Jordan next.
Well, he don't want that smoke either. Michael, he wouldn't miss a shot. Yeah, 1-on-1 to 21 hits bottom 20. Mike still get him.
Jamie from Fayetteville has a true person who's the big tomato. It's Andy Reid. That's actually perfect, Jamie.
I thought he was the Kool-Aid guy, but we can go tomato if you want to. It's mostly water weight.
Mitch Richmond turned 60 today.
Love some Mitch Richmond. You know who Michael Jordan said one of the best defensive players in the history of the game that he did not like facing was Mitch Richmond. Yeah.
6-time All-Star, came out of Kansas
He was part of that
State.
Run DMC,
Yes,
Run TMC with Chris Mullin and Tim Hardaway. Absolutely.
He was
played
the
on the
R.
Sacramento Queens. Yeah.
That was fun basketball then. I mean, you had that's right. And I was watching the Big East 30 for 30 the other day, and they had Chris Mullin all over it. It's like Chris Mullin when he was 19 years old looked like he was 14 years old. I don't know how old Mullin is right now. Vincent D'Onofrio turns 66 today. Now that name ought to mean something to you, C-Movie. Because he was Private Pyle in
Gomer Pyle.
That's right, in Full Metal Jacket, which was your halftime homework over the weekend.
Man,
I think he was a brother in the breakup with Vince Vaughn, and they were going to take the world by storm. You know, we're going to the Squids next. He was one of Vince Vaughn's brother, and that he actually, if you look at him in that movie, Full Metal Jacket, and then look at the next of his body of work, it's like talk about a dude that looks better. You know, like he kind of like I think he did okay for himself.
I read where he put first of all in that movie in Full Metal Jacket, a lot of those actors were unknowns. And then the movie catapulted them much farther ahead. I think Matthew Modine was known because of Vision Quest, but that was pretty much it. And then D'Onofrio had to put on 30 pounds for the role of Private Pyle, the jelly donut eating Private Pyle. And then, of course, we remember him as the as the big insect in Men in Black.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't realize that was him.
So what did you think of Full Metal Jacket?
Man, there's definitely some funny parts in that movie, but there's also some parts that are like, man, I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting them to beat him to death with soap.
Mm-hmm.
With the
soap.
Come
pretty close to it.
And then I just wasn't expecting him to kill.
Spoiler alerts. It's okay. The movie's been out for over almost 40 years.
To kill his instructor or whatever, and then turn it on himself like that just kind of seemed. I guess it's to be expected, but I don't know. I guess I thought he would last longer in the movie. I thought he would actually fight, but it was definitely a eye-opening scene right there.
Yeah, those first 30 minutes, like that's the thing. I've never seen a movie where it just completely turns from something that feels like a comedy with real dark aspects to something that just turns into, I don't know. It felt to me like it detailed maybe what the Vietnam War must have felt like really well. But back then, Vietnam War was the topic of a ton of movies. At some point, you got to watch Platoon or Casualties of War. We have more movies made about the Middle East now for obvious reasons. But in the 80s, it was Rambo and all of the Chuck Norris missing in action movies, Bronson movies, and things like that. Vietnam was top of mind, man. And that movie, I thought, did a great job. So I'm glad you liked it.
In the very end where that soldier was suffering and they were like kind of debating whether to that was kind of tough to watch.
That's pretty much how it all ends. That's right. And I saw Matthew Modine over the weekend in a movie. I don't know if you've ever seen Sicario, the second Sicario, Day of the Soldado. I think he plays the director of the CIA or the defense secretary. Wasn't quite sure which role he played, but he's pretty good in that. He didn't do his war scream, though, which, of course, as Private Joker, he does in Full Metal Jacket. I got the name of the 6'7" heavyweight boxer incorrect. It's Anthony Joshua, not Anthony Jordan.
Yeah, Anthony Joshua you better set some different rules because you're both not going to be allowed to fight by the same rules. I don't think it would get past the first round, dude. I don't know that unless he's kind of bobbing and weaving or they're in cahoots, because that's a real fighter versus a Kardashian fighter.
Seth and Rogers want you to know this is a supremely screwed up movie. Tim Robbins, Jacob's Ladder. I think that's the first movie Macaulay Culkin was ever in. He played Tim Robbins' son. You only see him for a couple of scenes. That's a movie. I'm not even going to say what that movie is how
I've seen
messed up it is.
I don't remember what the plot is, but I know I've seen it.
If I remember correctly, and I'll leave it at this because Seth said no spoilers, I think it detailed the effects of drug experiments that the United States Army may have had on its own members. That's what the movie's about. Yeah, pretty interesting. I mean, just a crazy, crazy movie.
June 30th, 1955. You know the guy that I don't even know that exists anymore, Yanni Carson. He debuts his show, on CBS. June 30th, 1955.
Wow. 1955 is a very important year in the history of our entire world for obvious reasons. And that one is the second most important reason. Of course, 1955 is when the flux capacitor was invented too.
Could you argue the host of the Today Show was like one of the most important people?
Who was it?
Like, just when you're the host of the Today Show, aren't you like considered back then one of the most important people?
Well, I don't think that was the Today. First of all, that was CBS.
Who read the nightly news? Was it Cronkite?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Walter Cronkite would have been on CBS. I mean, I knew Carson was around for so many years. I should have known he would have been on CBS. I just always associated him with NBC because the Tonight Show. He didn't take the Tonight Show over C-Movie until 66 or something. Jack Parr started the Tonight Show. So I don't know what Carson would have done in the 50s if he was a newsreader or a game show host or something. Anyway.
Amateur magician.
Yeah. I put a little Carson on last night just so that I could hear. It's the greatest thing ever. Got a break on halftime. Before we do, remember about LureNet.com. You're looking to get your favorite lures from our friends at Pradco at the click of a button. LureNet.com has all the brands you're looking at. Rebel, Yum, Booyah, many more, but they also include exclusive deals on LureNet.com for baits that you don't find anywhere else, and free shipping for all orders over $35 within the United States. That's LureNet.com. Check it out today. We're about to talk with Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South in a moment on halftime.
I think it's your girlfriend called.
Text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Lewis Automotive Group, home of the Lewis Guarantee. Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you, so why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Ted McAvoy in Van Buren.
Forsgren is hiring immediately. Forsgren Incorporated, a heritage company and premier employer, is now hiring equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Have experience in any of these areas? Apply now at goforsgren.com. Don't delay. Forsgren is hiring now at goforsgren.com. Don't miss your opportunity to join the Forsgren legacy. Forsgren has immediate openings for equipment operators, pipe layers, concrete finishers, and laborers. Apply now at goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Do you want to be home every weekend, use brand new equipment, and make a competitive salary? Then let me tell you about Lavorne Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, call 479-646-4685. That's 646-4685. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith and online at Lavorne, Lovvorn lumber.com. Lavorne Lumber. Pam and the Bills will take care of you.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Listen up, crappie anglers. When it comes to crappie fishing, there's only one Baby Shad. The original Baby Shad, crappie fishing's #1 selling bait. Featuring a sleek back, streamlined belly, and quivering tail, that bait just won't stop moving, no matter the temps, no matter the conditions. Built for dead sticking and action-based techniques also, the original Baby Shad gets right to the point, catching slabs and filling freezers. Bobby Garland Crappie Baits, the leader in crappie fishing innovation.
Make hay while the sun shines with Kubota hay equipment from Gray Brothers. By quality-built Kubota disc hay mowers, known for their durability and beautiful cut. Kubota hay rakes and, of course, the BB Series Kubota round baler. Couple it with Kubota's M-Series cab tractor with 75 to 168 horsepower, and you'll have the prettiest hay on the market. With savings from Gray Brothers and special financing from Kubota. Today is your day for a new Kubota at Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Photo, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
I heard a hole in the sky lounge. I saw a crack in the plan, but I got lies. Take off your shoes.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Time to head to the Lewis Automotive Hotline. Connor O'Gara is joining us, senior national columnist, Saturday Down South. Appreciate talking to you every couple of Mondays, Connor, but I don't think I've talked to you in a while. How you been?
It's good to hear from you. Every once in a while, we go through these stretches during the off season in which there are other things that are more important that are on the plate, and I get it. But it's good to hear your voice again, at least through my phone.
I think the last time you would have joined us, we were preempted by a no-hitter thrown by Gage Wood against Murray State 2 Mondays ago. If you're gonna get bumped, it might as well be for an historic moment.
That's a really good point. And I haven't gotten into, you would know more about this based on background information and all that stuff. And apologies here if this is going to come off as just negligence and totally out of the loop. There's no relation to Kerry Wood, right? Like this, even though he threw basically the same game that Kerry Wood had, a certain game that I hold very near and dear to my heart as a young Cubs fan. There's no relation to Gage Wood and Kerry Wood, right?
You want to hear something great? There's no relation. 2 Mondays ago when Gage threw the no-hitter, that was Kerry Wood's birthday.
Wow. All right. So there's the universe, though, has clearly sent messages that these two guys are aligned, and there's some cosmic force that is putting them together to be mentioned in the same breath.
That's the same kind of game, though, that Kerry pitched. And I don't know if I've ever told you this before, too, Connor. I was at the Astros-Cubs game the night before. The night that Wood struck out those 20, I was in Milwaukee watching the Padres and the Brewers. I was 1 game off from actually being at Kerry Wood's game and then calling Gage Wood's no-hitter.
You would have been the only person that could say that. Like, I don't know what that Venn diagram looks like, but I know that you are the only person in the middle of it. That's too bad. My childhood friend, Ben Bechtelsheim, I'm sure he's listening. He was at that Kerry Wood game, and he had no idea who Kerry Wood was going into the game because he was still an up-and-comer who I'm not even sure he was shaving yet. By day's end, that was a much different story, and all of us were just in amazement by what happened.
Yeah, I think it was his 6th or 5th major league start. Connor, today is the last day before the House settlement goes into full effect. July 1st is the day. Once the settlement was approved, and we knew July 1st would be the day it goes into effect because that's when the fiscal calendar changes for college athletics. So, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but last week there appeared to be a 10% reduction in the athletic department at Arkansas, which also, we were talking about it in the first hour. Apparently, Kevin Trainor is one of the folks who's let go, and you probably know who Kevin is because you've been to SEC Media Days, as he's been the moderator there for years. That's a sign when some of the most senior executives or administrators in the sports in the college sports world are handed walking papers. That's evidence of the sea change. We just didn't know who was going to lose their jobs, and I think sometimes it turns out here, Connor, it's those who are making the most that aren't coaches, that aren't connected essentially to one sport, and it's people that have expertise.
It's scary because there are, and I know athletic departments across the country have been planning for this, and it's not like this is, this caught anyone off guard or anything like that, but there are major shifts going on here that I haven't fully processed yet. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't know that everybody within those buildings, based on the people that I've spoken to, have fully processed these changes. And last year, you would hear a headline like Tennessee charging 10% talent fee on top of tickets, and we'd all kind of laugh at it and go, well, that's so silly. What are they doing? I mean, there's so much money coming in from these TV contracts, and everything's going to work itself out. And then you kind of realize, well, it is still a budget at the end of the day, and you still do have to make these tough decisions, and sometimes that means doing things that are really unpopular like that, and it means taking a PR hit for what it is, because everybody's just trying to reconfigure what the books are going to look like. And that right now is an issue that's facing the SEC. It's facing programs within it, even the programs that are doing really well. And there are going to be a lot of these things that come about that I think we're going to find out and be like, whoa, that didn't see that coming. But the entire financial model of college athletics is changing, and it's changing tomorrow.
Do you expect that there's going to be a lot less player movement? Because we're starting to hear about details of some of the contracts that players are signing with athletic departments, and they are on the hook for NIL money if they end up leaving the program. And it's been thought, NIL, it's not thought, it's a fact. NIL and transfer portal go hand in hand. So this House settlement and the way that it's constructed is supposed to either slow down the movement of players, not stop it completely, but bring some semblance of roster continuity. And that seems like that's really top of the list of what the administrators and coaches do want here. Are they going to get it?
I don't know that athletic departments want that universally. I think they would like there to be rules that are outlined. I don't know that everyone wants true full governance, because what the College Sports Commission was brought in to do, remember, that was the enforcement entity that was hired by the Power Conference commissioners. It was brought in to police that and essentially get collectives out of big revenue college sports. Whether or not they're going to be able to do that, I have no idea, because if they're going to be policing everything through this Deloitte clearinghouse, which is supposed to be reviewing any sort of third-party NIL deal that's $600 or more, then I'm going to need to see what that looks like before I have any confidence that they're actually going to be able to police this thing. So what does that mean? Does that mean we're going to have less movement because you can't really cover your tracks? Are we still going to have just as much movement because the bagman is still a thing probably in college football? I'd probably agree more with the latter, if I'm being honest. They're going to find a way. And there are not necessarily rules that are preventing tampering or anything like that just yet. And that's kind of one of the gripes right now, is there's still no union for these athletes, and you can still have this movement where there's still going to be elements of this that feel very Wild West-ish, and it's not just going to be taken care of all because of this House settlement. So there are a lot of moving pieces that still have to be figured out, and until we actually see governance of the sport, in-season governance with punishments being handed out, I don't really want to sit here and predict that movement is all of a sudden going to come to a screeching halt.
The thing that I guess universities are trying to avoid, and it's something that's starting to come out much more, is reading in Yahoo Sports about this today, and Danny White, the athletic director at Tennessee, is quoted as in promoting the idea of collective bargaining. Now, the word union, I guess you would think always has to go with collective bargaining, but the way they're detailing it, maybe it doesn't. It's just, if you're going to do away with Wild West, the only way that happens is collective bargaining. And there are more athletics directors, I think, that are beginning to feel comfortable, not necessarily with the idea of it, but talking about it. I think they would have liked that idea a while back, but didn't want to be the first one to start promoting that idea. And it still feels like we're a ways off from being anywhere close to where there will be collective bargaining. But as far as I can see, Connor, that's how pro sports got to where they are, where every few years you've got to renegotiate your contract with the union, and then you have peace. That's the only thing that could work in college sports, Connor, but it's like you're talking about so many more athletes and a more complex system and different sports, so I just don't know if that works either.
I can hear people slamming their heads into the wall just with the mentions of those things, of collective bargaining, because there are so many fans who do not want to see this become the final step of college sports turning into professional sports, and that's basically it at that point. Because the last thing that fans who are listening to this want to see is a bunch of guys entering the postseason, maybe a team that is going into the playoff, and it's a bit like what we were hearing was going on at Tennessee last year, and all of a sudden they're threatening to hold out unless they get certain playoff incentives met. And if you have a union, and if you have certain things that are collectively bargained, and there are certain things that aren't necessarily accounted for, if people feel like it's unjust, then there are going to be certain things that they're going to be at odds with. Like that is just going to happen. Now, I don't know how imminent it is to say that they're going to have any sort of system like that, but we're heading in that direction. It certainly feels like it, and I don't know what that's going to look like, if even that's going to be figured out by the end of the decade. I would tend to think it would be, but man, it is troubling to hear things like that, knowing that college sports has been allowed to operate in this one-of-one athletic model for such a long time, and change is coming, and it feels like there will be wholesale changes. It's just going to be about what they're going to look like.
All right, so how much time do you actually get to write about football? Because there's so much in the business aspect of it, but I know, you get into writing about football so you can write about games and teams and everything, and we call it talking season, Connor, but for you, it's writing and talking season. And you've got a bunch of columns up planned about the best thing for each team in the SEC for 2025, and you got the Arkansas column right up there on Saturday Down South right now.
Positive vibes only. It is talking season officially. that went up on Sunday, and just digging into the best elements of every single team, which, has a best offensive player, best defensive player, best freshman, best game, best reason for improvement. Those are the types of things, the hopium things that any fan base, no matter what situation, you kind of bank on this time of year. So I figured that'd be a nice thing going into SEC Media Days. We align that with the SEC Network takeover schedule, which is running right now up until Media Days as well. Just to lay out what exactly each team has working in their favor. And with Arkansas, I'm not breaking any news by saying that the turnover is not necessarily one of those positive things with, 40 guys that were lost to the portal and 31 that came in. Maybe I mixed that number up, but it's 40 and 31 with imports and exports, which is just insane for a team that didn't have coaching staff turnover. And the best elements start with that offense, and it starts with Taylor Green, Bobby Petrino, year 2, working together, cutting down on those mistakes, staying healthy. What does it look like with a guy that I think Arkansas fans were pleased with, but they want to see more from next year, and they want to be able to see him take that step, knowing that if he's not, one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the SEC, we're not going to be talking about Arkansas in the playoff conversation in November. Those two things go hand in hand with one another. So I think that's going to be at the top of the list for the best things, at least going into the season this year.
Yeah. There's such a split here, too, because you look at a team that's had so much movement of talent leaving and a lot of guys coming in, but you have almost the same coaching staff, certainly the same coordinators. Not a lot of programs can say that. So, you've got this lack of continuity in one aspect, which are a lot of times the guys on the field, and then great continuity in the coordinators. And I know that's one thing that you pushed on your column that can help them. I just wonder, does it matter if you have continuity with your coordinators if you don't have that much continuity with the players?
I could probably spin that either way, but I'd still say if you were just a fan of a team and you knew that you had both coordinators who were at least in solid enough standing, and I realized that there were some games on both sides of the ball that left a lot to be desired. I realized that, but I would still say that Bobby Petrino and Travis Williams were two coordinators in good standing, and there wasn't this outcry of, oh my gosh, how could both of those guys retain their jobs? You have that. You have your starting quarterback coming back, also still in good standing. Those are real positives. Those are real positives moving forward that not a lot of teams in the SEC have. Now, it's going to be a question of what do you do with it, with a schedule that still figures to be really difficult. It could be one of the most difficult in all of college football. I know my guy Kelly Ford, based on his metrics, he does have it projected as the most difficult schedule in America, and that's all preseason conversation. What does it look like when bullets are flying? Are you able to actually capitalize on that and have guys that know exactly what their role is? There shouldn't be that balance of power that, it's going back and forth. Everybody kind of knows what's at stake. I think Sam Pittman knows what's at stake here, knowing that this is year 6 for him. And if Arkansas isn't a team that's, in that conversation of 7 to 8 wins, it's probably curtains on the Pittman era. So there are a lot of things that I think are very much up in the air, but having those pieces back is a really good place to start, especially if you're a program like Arkansas that's still just trying to establish that year-to-year consistency.
Connor, good to reestablish contact in these every other Monday. So we'll do it again, I guess, right as SEC Media Days are starting to heat up in a couple weeks. Appreciate you, man.
Love it. Thanks, man.
Connor O'Gara, he is the national senior columnist at Saturday Down South. So we can open up the Lewis Automotive Hotline for the home stretch of the show, 877-377-6963. Back right in just a moment.
The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed a dream season.
This is halftime.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BODY to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BODY to 321321. That's BODY to 321321.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Need a new fence but not ready to pay all at once? The Fence Man, serving Fort Smith for over 40 years, offers 18-month financing so you can secure your home or office now and pay over time. Free quotes, custom designs, and the expertise to accomplish what most can't. Call 479-782-3936 or visit thefencemanar.com. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work.
What do Formula One, the Peanuts cartoon strip, and Jay Leno all have in common with Crabtree RV Center? Yes, you guessed it. They are all celebrating 75 in 2025. Crabtree RV Center is so thrilled to have seen 75 wonderful years of business in the River Valley, and we want to celebrate with all of you. Come in today and take advantage of our 75-year anniversary sale going on every day at Crabtree RV Center in Alma, Arkansas. Crabtree RV Center is your one-stop shop for sales, service, parts, and rentals. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for 75 years.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Gunshot. From old age comes near. Why can't the lost stuff free? We're trading soldiers for spirits. It's got me off, and it was the new. It's got me off, and with the basket.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
We talked a lot more of the business of football than the actual football itself with Connor last segment, and I think that's you gotta be realistic about the things that are happening in college sports now. And today into tomorrow is from one era of college sports that lasted how long? Because this would be an NIL transfer portal era. Let's say it started in 2020, just about right. I think we started adding more years to athletes' eligibility, and NIL was around then. It's about 5 years, and now a new iteration of college sports starts tomorrow, and we'll see how long that era lasts. We did get a football question on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, 877-377-6963. Dustin says, he wonders if the O-line has gotten any better, or the running back's going to be stuffed 3 yards back, and what about Taylon's ball-carrying skills? Because fumbled a bit much last year. These things all end up going together too, right? If your linemen are getting pushed into the backfield and your quarterback is a little nervous about where the pressure's coming from, might hold the ball out a little bit. If you were to point to one thing last year that was the biggest issue for Arkansas, Matt, wasn't it fumbling the ball, and a lack of protection goes along with that? So hopefully if the protection's better and you got a rebuilt offensive line, I think there's only one player going to be at the same position. Hopefully the fumbling goes away along with a rebuilt O-line.
Yeah, year two under Bobby P, he should be better, feel more comfortable. And one of the things, when you're just a great athlete like Taylon Green, you get a little pressure, you go back to what you know. And so he would always go outside the numbers, outside the pocket. That's where his only scramble was. And, what do the best quarterbacks do? You sit in the pocket. You're able to manipulate the pocket. You're able to move a step up, 2 steps up, and not run 20 yards to the left or 20 yards to the right, and then able to make that throw and hurt the defense. So that's what you're looking for his improvement, is understanding where people are on the offensive in the pass routes, and not just taking off. And not that there's not a time for that, take off, get outside and go. But that's what the defense wants you to do, because then you're not throwing over the middle of the field. Then you're not gashing them. What you're doing is you're taking this wide field and you're playing in a third of it. And so you're making it smaller for you and not able to have as many explosive plays. So I'm sure they're working on all that stuff.
Well, it can't be worse than it was last year in terms of fumbling the ball, right? I mean, they lost 14 fumbles, which was one of the most in the nation. The nation's leader was 15 fumbles, and that was Oklahoma. But in terms of just putting the ball on the ground, nobody did it any more than Arkansas did. 30 times in 13 games, and the next most was 26, also by Oklahoma. So Arkansas dropped, well, not dropped.
That's 2 fumbles a game, isn't it?
It's more than 2 fumbles a game. I mean, that's a chunk more than 13 times 2 is 26. Add 4 more, and you got the number of now, again, that's not lost fumbles, but that's the number of time the ball was on the ground. And that's got to be, heck, you got to cut that number in half from 30 to 15. You can't be even up in the high teens unless you're creating a ton of turnovers. And you weren't at that level from last year. So Chris points out that the team's been 90th or worse in fumbles going for the last 2 football seasons. Well, 3, 2022, 23, and 24.
We fumbled on our very first run last year
against UAPB. Right. Yep,
Jaquindon Jackson. And if you look at stats, analytics, however you want to look at the games afterwards, the turnover battle, who wins that? That a lot of times tell you who wins the game. And then also the third down battle. Who can get off the field on third down? Who can stay on the field on offense? Those are 2 stats that just not every single time, but most of the time, if you can win in those categories, you're setting yourself up for a chance to at least to have a chance to win the game.
So I mean, the hope is that it's an improved offensive line. I think it will be. You got Corey Robinson coming in from Georgia Tech at tackle. He's already been
Georgia
part
Tech
of
was tough too.
of
Yeah,
a good
I
old
like-
line for
I
a
like
couple
that.
years.
I like that.
Caden Kittler at UCF, I guess, is the assumed starting center, moving Carmona from tackle, I think, to left guard. Marion Harris might be fighting for playing time at right tackle. I think Jaquan McCoy, the huge behemoth from Oregon, may get some time as a redshirt freshman. And then right guard Kobe Branham. I know they really liked him, and he looked good in the Liberty Bowl. So in that case, there's really just a couple of returners that were starters for most of last year, and that would be Marion Harris, if he is the starter at right tackle, and then Carmona, but at a different position. I like JT, but at least they recovered more than half their fumbles. JT's, it's not usually your.
That's the Connor. We're positive spin in talking season. I like it.
Not
JT.
usually where JT comes from either.
like
It's
it.
How
just
many of them
search
went
for
out
the
of
positive.
bounds?
That's not recovering. You get credit for recovering, I guess, in that case. Has to be better than last year. You're not going to lose. You're not going to put the ball on the ground 30 times. That was last year. There's no way that you're in the same position as you were last year. I do think it'll be an improved offensive line in terms of the ability to pass block. You know, there were some they opened some holes for Jaquindon Jackson, Braylon Russell last year. But I also wonder if it could be worse. You know, could the pass blocking have been worse than it was last year? And I'm not really sure it could have been. So it's a matter of can it only get better? Well, I'd say about 95% of it is it can only get better. And you can only get better holding onto the ball and protecting your quarterback for this next season. 877-377-6963 is our Lewis Automotive hotline. Yeah, that's the football question we had coming in here about it.
I do know, Phil, and I think you brought this up, that Arkansas basketball, I know there's a lot of talk about Coach Calipari and that his players have signed over $1 billion worth of contracts. But look at Jay Will, $24 million, Bobby Portis, $44 million, Gadford just signed a $60 million. I mean, that's Arkansas basketball is just littered all over the NBA right now.
Yeah, and with Portis, I think he had signed an
extension.
I don't know, years ago too.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a new contract, more of an extension, but that's a lot of times that's with more upfront money.
He had a weird
or more
season.
guaranteed money.
Didn't Portis get when was he
30 days
suspended?
for the Lance Armstrong?
Yeah, but I don't remember what it was that he took, but he owned
Tramadol.
it.
It was
sounded like he said it was something that somebody gave him and he wasn't even sure or what it was, or they told him it was something else. And but yeah, he ended up taking that. But yeah, it's a nice way to, at least at the end of that, increase your pay. $3.7 million is going to be making that much more than he did this last year. And with Jalen, so I remember, we brought it up last week. Do he and Isaiah Joe, do they need to go somewhere else in order to get some more playing time? I think Jalen looks perfectly happy where he is. I think there's an important role he plays for that team. Would they have beaten Denver without his defense against Jokic? Probably not. But he looked obviously happy to be an NBA champion, close to home, with a former high school teammate of his right there. So I guess in some cases it's not always the playing time that you're getting, or maybe there will be some more playing time for him moving forward. Because to me, Jalen just comes across as a great teammate, someone that will work hard no matter the role that he's in, and should continue to improve. I think there's something there to work with.
Love his character. Love how he goes about it. There's a lot to be said when you're the 8th guy on the bench, Phil. Sometimes these guys they mope a little bit, or they're kind of a cancer in the locker room. They're like, oh, I should be getting mine. I should be playing more. He's not like that at all. He's a team first guy, and I think that's why you see Oklahoma City pay that much money for a guy that's the 8th guy in the rotation.
We'll break on halftime. We'll be back and wrap up the show after this.
We joke, we can call me a sleepless tuna, but you guys know that you guys are like family to me.
This is halftime.
Happy New Year from Sharp Equipment. Come on over to the new Sharp Equipment today and explore what all Sharp has to offer. From our latest offers and deals as a Wacker Neuson dealer to customized hydraulic and industrial hoses, equipment repairs, and as a Cinnabogan authorized service provider, we're able to offer even more. Stop in to check out the new location at 5608 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-649-0500 to see how at Sharp Equipment we help you move more than just the world. We help you move forward.
Sharp Equipment, your Wacker Newson dealer.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. The future of office printing is here with Xerox's Connect Key technology and cloud connectivity. Xerox offers seamless integration, top-notch security, and unmatched efficiency to help your business stay ahead. Don't miss out. Call us today at 783-6600 and ask about our special offer for a free Xerox color printer with many Xerox models. Dixie Digital Imaging, leading the way in office technology.
Designed by Jason Christie, the Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait doesn't just bring the fight, it dominates. Choose from 3 blade options: Colorado for maximum thump, Willow for bright flash, and the one the pros won't talk about, the Oklahoma blade. Perfectly balanced for subtle vibration, multiple flash points, and unmatched versatility. The Oklahoma blade is your secret weapon for pressured waters. Precision engineering, tournament proven, and one mission: dominate. Booyah Finesse Covert Spinnerbait, here for one thing.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
The difference between an average morning and a Hardee's morning is hearty goodness that lasts till lunchtime. Like Hardee's smoked sausage biscuit. Split Hillshire Farm smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. And our Frisco breakfast sandwich with cherrywood smoked bacon or ham on toasted sourdough. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Level up your summer projects with 4th of July savings on top brand cordless power tools from the Home Depot. Whether you're working on a fence, a planter box, or a new workbench, get the power and runtime you need with the Ryobi One Plus 18-volt 2 toolkit from the Home Depot for only $99 plus $139. Get 4th of July savings on the cordless power you need to make summer projects easier than ever right now at the Home Depot.
Equipment down? Got a leak? Lost pressure? Don't let hydraulic problems slow you down. At Central Hydraulics in Fort Smith, we've got the power to keep you moving. From hoses and fittings to full system repairs, our expert team delivers top quality service fast. Central Hydraulics specializes in hydraulic pumps, cylinders, and custom-built solutions, so you can get back to work. Heavy machinery, farming equipment, construction rigs, if it runs on hydraulics, we've got you covered. Visit Central Hydraulics today or call 479-646-0471 for fast, reliable service.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. All guests join us on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, serving Northwest Arkansas for over 79 years. Home of the Lewis Guarantee. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend, Matt Jones.
And C-Movie with us as well as we close up shop here. Remember about Rhoback.com. Roback is the best gear for your perfect summer days with fresh polos, hoodies, Q-zips, and more in the American Summer Collection. Golfers, you got the Roback Delta pants and shorts, perfect on the golf course or off the golf course. RHOBACK.com. It's Roback.com. Use the code RUSH25 at checkout. You get 20% off your first order. Roback is where action meets comfort. I wonder if Ty was wearing his Roback clothing, Matt, when he hit his first ever hole-in-one over the weekend. Our boy Ty Richardson
got a hole-in-one?
has hit a hole-in-one. How many of those have you hit?
Man. One. I only have one. I remember it. I was in Florida and hit a 6-iron, 175, my little slap at it slice, and it went in, and then I went double bogey, triple bogey to finish the day. So, yeah. How cool. How cool.
I've never hit a hole-in-one, but the golf shot that I remember the most, I was playing with my father. I think I was 14 or 15 years old, and I hit a ball that sliced because just about everything does.
Because we're amateur, yeah.
And it missed the hole, and it killed a bird in midair. That's basically my greatest moment in golf history for myself.
Well, I have I would have had a different up. I know that would have been one of my ups today when we did that with Dr. Charlie today. Because
it doesn't get any better than that, and it never happens again.
Congratulations, Ty.
It's like a chance to go to roll a 300 in bowling. You ever going to really be able to pull that off again? No, but you'll continue to try for the rest of your life. Continue to try, Ty. Continue to try. Matt, we're going to miss you the next couple of days. You guys have some great things going on, and hope you have fun.
I like it when you lie to me, and it's always fun working with you guys. And, yeah, I'm sure I'll text you, keep you abreast of what's going on.
All right. Well, I hope the Rockies do a little better if you guys go to a game. Just remember, sit in that purple row. They should call it a purple patch.
If it's an afternoon game, I just go up to the counter, where is a seat in shade, and then if it's a night game, then you got it.
Why is this man dressed as a beekeeper at
might
the
get to
ballpark
play
today?
They might need a right fielder.
Ruskin and Zach are coming up in a moment. C-Movie's got the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast ready to go, and Joey's actually got the right thing to finish with. Forget about the hole-in-one. Ty, where are we getting drinks? Because you get to buy them now. Stay tuned. Ruskin and Zach in a moment. Get up, get out, and get better.
Summer is here, and Gelco Outdoors